Staff of the Archmagi. It's not a big deal. I'll just add it to my character sheet. No problem.
Oh, that's right. I remember not doing that. Okay, let's see here. Where am I? There's that. There's that. Okay, cool. I'm also on Roll20 in case I have to draw anything, but you don't have to get on it if you don't want to. It's just for, again, if I need any visuals to throw up on the map or move around or you're in the house or something like that. Okay, I read your post. Let me move this over. Okay, so here we go. You are in the lounge upstairs. You have just taken Seb up to put him on the charging station. It takes about an hour for him to fully recharge and rebuild. He's looking a little bit better already, but it's only been a couple minutes. So you stand there as he's, recharging in the beam of electric energy sparking between the floor and ceiling. What would you like to do first?
Okay. So first off, just some context.
Sure.
So last I knew, because I had to step out a little early.
Yeah.
Last time, the Seb and Trevor and Frankie were still like clearing rocks and whatnot.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then there was a letter that they sent.
So here's what happened.
Yes.
You went. Okay, so wait. While that was going on, where were you at?
I was hanging out with Saf Keen, and you and Xavier went shopping. Like, hanging out to help with
the dishes or
making
something
sure.
like that?
Yeah.
I don't remember
hanging
exactly.
out and just helping make sure stuff happened. And then as soon as that was...
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Then you guys still played for like another hour or hour and a half, maybe? So there might have been other stuff that had happened, but I have no idea what it was.
All right. I'm trying to remember. So I played you a little bit. You were... While you were off, everyone else was getting Seb to drill the rocks in that stairwell, the collapse.
Okay, yeah.
And somebody went to go see if they could find the source of the rocks that were like hitting them in the head and stuff, and the shadow things that they'd seen in the halls. Right. And I believe somebody cast a spell and it didn't work, and then Xavier pulled out his Lantern of Revealing. Ooh. And caught a glimpse of something. I'm not going to describe it since you weren't there. But then they went on a merry chase to go find out what that was. Meanwhile, Safkeen stayed behind to watch Seb, and there was a mild, like, earthquakey tremor, and the ceiling collapsed in again on top of Seb, crushing him.
Oh no!
And everybody ran in and helped clear away rocks and stuff from Seb. But he was pretty smashed. He wasn't like dead or anything, but he was pretty injured. So Lindel ran in and like had a touching moment where she was, sobbing, tears streaming down her face, like Seb. And you cast I think you cast a healing word or one of those kind of spells on him to heal him up a little bit, and then wheeled him back up to the charging station. And that was where I left you. Was getting Seb on the charging station.
Okay, so what time of day is it?
It's about maybe 2 p.m.
Okay, and then what we're doing today, how much... Ask. My brain wants to know is like how much time are we doing on one-on-one sessions? Like, are we doing just like finish out the day? Are we doing like, because I thought we were gonna wait like a day or two, not tomorrow, but the next day. We were gonna go downstairs, like go down to sub 2.
Well, Safkeen is on a time limit because she has to work, and blah blah blah. What was I thinking?
Work?
Yeah, so she went out to the store and made a deal with a shopkeeper to get a bunch of stuff on like layaway as long as she came back
Oh,
and worked a full 8-hour shift. So she has to go back and work at the shop to pay off her debt.
okay. So she has to do that like tomorrow, I guess?
It's going to be whenever I have the session with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll play it as it being the following day because
Yeah.
she had just come back with like the groceries and stuff that she had gotten. So yeah, it
Right.
would be
And
the following day.
so that'd be the start. That would be like sometime today, like mid morning, early afternoon, before all this collapsed tunnel stuff happened. And then,
Yeah, yeah.
so in theory, we have like, I don't know,
A
24
day,
hours slash potentially up
yeah,
to 48 hours.
a little bit more than 24 hours, but all of you are in kind of an interesting place right now where you can go off and adventure on your own if you want. You don't have to make it back in time. And that might
Oh,
make the next session rather interesting.
I see.
You
Okay.
have, you're on your own free will. I'll play anyone you want to interact with. It might not be exactly canon because I haven't done everyone's plays yet, individual plays.
Oh, yeah, no,
So I'm
that's
not sure
fair.
where they'll be at what times, but I'll try and make it work in a timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly way.
Wibbly wobbly way. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I don't think Lindel has any like specific one-on-one type of like interactions with any of the other PCs that she needs to have.
Okay.
So I don't think that'll create any timey-wimey issues.
Okay.
Um, but we did establish that Seb does have some kind of like drilling or mining attachment.
Yes. You didn't really see it in action, but you would have gathered from like the dust and pulverized rock that he was digging. That someone got him to dig.
Yeah, he was able to dig through. Okay.
Actually, no. I think I
Uh,
played it as you. You said, "Hey, Seb, can you dig?" Because they were all asking about it. I think that's what happened.
right.
They were all trying to clear away some more rocks, and Frankie couldn't do it. So you asked if Seb could, and Seb like spreaded a drill and like a hammer and started drilling and hammering at the rock really fast. Um, so it was like a new discovery for you guys. So you were there when
Oh,
the whole
dope.
thing went down.
Okay, okay. So I watched the tunnel collapse in a very dramatic scene.
Yes, yes.
Fair. Okay, fabulous. Um, so essentially, like, it's, yeah, she's up in the lounge, and it's early afternoon,
Mhm.
and everyone's kind of said, like, I'm gonna go do shopping, I'm gonna go do shopping, like, let's just do our own thing for today, kind of thing.
Kinda. You and Xavier kind of went on a scavenger hunt. Safkeen is just kind of trying to clean up the mess and prepare for having to work the next day. And you're not sure where Jen is. Jen's kind of
Hmm.
been aloof.
Yeah, she's kind of. She said something about the pharaohs too, right?
Yeah, she might have mentioned it.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Let's see. Seb is recharging, and I think it might take like an hour for Seb to recharge. Right?
Yeah, about an hour.
She'll go. She'll go do shopping. Then in the
Okay.
meantime,
All right, so you make your way back down. Do you need to do anything in your room before heading down to the first floor?
mm, might. Has she slept in this room yet? Yes, they had a long rest, right?
Yes. Yeah, you did have one long rest.
Okay, yeah. So I was just gonna like do like another just very paranoid kind of like sweep of like make sure there's no existing secret doors or like under the bed and like check the bed frame and like feel all along the windowsill and like
Sure.
stuff. But she
Go ahead
probably
and
would
roll
have done that
a.
last night.
Yeah, I think you had already, but go ahead and roll an investigation check, and let's see if you roll any higher.
Give herself guidance as she goes.
8. Okay. Yeah, you don't really find anything different from the night before, but you do notice that the coals in the fireplace have gone out, and it's a little bit chilly up here. You can almost see your breath, and you think to yourself, "I'm gonna need some fuel for this fire. There's no wood in here."
Hmm. How did we get fuel for the fire to begin with? Like,
There
if
were
we lit
logs
a fire
inside.
last
They
night.
weren't. Yeah, the logs that were inside your fireplaces weren't completely burned yet, and most of you used magical means to light your fires.
Okay. As we were like scouring the house for robot parts, was there like a wood shed or anything that we found?
Not that you found.
Okay. Lindel? Yes. She's easily distracted. So she will still, yes, want to do shopping. But at the moment she's like, oh, well, where did they get the wood from? Um, maybe there's a wood shed outside, or maybe Seb brought the wood, but he's charging, so I can't ask him right now. Hmm, maybe I'll just go downstairs and see if I can find something.
Okay. So you head
So
downstairs to
to the
second.
second floor.
Okay.
And is there any public fireplaces on the second floor, or are they all in
Um,
bedrooms?
they are all in bedrooms.
Yeah. Okay. So then,
The
yeah. So
study
she'll.
is heated by the large grand fireplace that's in the whatchamacallit, the dining room.
Right. And so yeah. So she'll walk down the wall and
Okay.
she'll head to the dining room.
hmm
And she'll see if she can. Is there any sort of like wood box or anything in the dining room?
You look in the fireplace. Roll an Actually, perception. Doing a perception check for me. A little bit better.
Hmm. Yeah.
You do notice that there is a copper tube running up the side of the fireplace on the inside, and it's bent over at the end, and it has a little opening, like it's cut.
Yeah. Just writing notes here. Hmm.
It's only about maybe 6 inches off the ground,
As in, like it goes up the chimney, or it's like stuck in the ground,
coming up
or.
from the floor. It runs up the side of the fireplace, coming up from the floor on the inside of the fireplace, and then it kind of just hooks over at the end, like a candy cane,
Oh. And it's like in the middle of the fire or off to the side?
off to the side, to the right side.
Okay. If she pokes it, does anything happen?
No, just feels like metal.
She'll like try to like twist it or like lever it or
You twist it, and it starts to bend. You want to keep going?
uh yes.
You keep going, and you twist it, and it snaps a little bit.
No. She'll like put it back and like
You put it back, and it's loose now. It looks like the base of it snapped where the metal was coldest near the floor. It has a little bit of a break in it. It's not completely detached.
uh, that's a weird looking pipe. Copper, it's not brass. Seb is made of brass.
It's not made of brass.
It's
It's
probably
copper.
not yeah, so it's probably not a piece of Seb.
No, no.
Yeah, that's weird.
You wouldn't get the feeling it was a piece of Seb.
She'll like put her mouth up to the tube and be like, hello, is anyone there?
It's like yelling into a straw. Your voice comes out the little crack in the bottom.
Okay. Well, that's intriguing. So she knows that there's another grand fireplace like in the
Mhm.
foyer, right?
That's right.
Or in the receiving room. So
Uh-huh.
she'll head out towards the grand fireplace and she'll take a
Okay.
look there as well.
All right. Go ahead and roll another perception check. Well, you want to get in there with your hands, or do you just want to look?
Look.
Okay. Perception check.
She'll give herself guidance, cast guidance on herself as she's going.
She smacks herself in the forehead.
22!
Pretty easily, you see the exact same tube, candy cane in shape, coming out of both ends of this fireplace, on the left and the right.
Yeah. Be very gentle. She won't she'll just try to wiggle it to see if it easily moves in any direction.
It doesn't easily move now.
No. Hello?
She speaks into the tube again, but your voice doesn't come out the other end. It just.
Oh. And it's not if she tries to blow into it,
You
does
blow.
air go
You
into
don't
it?
feel your air. You don't feel your breath push into it. It just kind of stays.
Okay, so it's blocked or clogged or whatever. Huh. Oh, she's gonna sit down. She's gonna cross her legs. She's gonna pull out her symbol, and she's gonna start ritual casting detect magic.
Okay. Yeah, you ritual cast detect magic. As you're sitting there cross-legged on the floor, you feel another minor tremor underneath the house. It quickly subsides. You don't feel any rocks or anything falling. You don't hear any crashes. It just gives you an unsettling feeling, like this island is not safe. And then you continue to meditate. And as you do, 11 minutes later, you open your eyes and you see before you a fireplace.
Okay. Has a fire. I'm writing notes as we go.
You don't detect any magical essence coming from the fireplace. And then you wake up in bed and the day resets. No. Wouldn't that be something if I let you guys go this long and then reset you?
Right? It's damn it!
None of it happened. The council, any of it.
Exactly, it's all you're imagining. Okay, so there's two tubes coming up from the ground that kind of go up, and then the candy cane, and there's and they're a tube. There is a hole in between, but
yeah, there's a hole.
Nothing that can go through the tube because she's breathing into it or pushing air into it, and nothing is going in, so it's blocked somewhere.
Like those metal straws that they sell now for
yeah.
coolers and canisters and stuff. It looks like that, but copper.
They're not magical in any way.
No.
Okay.
Not that you can detect.
Yeah, exactly. Not that's detected by detect magic. So it's probably not a device to magically summon wood or anything like that.
You don't know.
Although it's weird that the tubes go down, down into the basement, down.
They do go down into the floor. Yes.
Into the floor. Yeah. So while Seb is recharging, if no one else is there, she's gonna head over to the stairs that lead down into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Is Seth Keen overseeing this area?
No, she's frozen in time. So about 20 minutes ago, that's where she was.
Okay, that's fair. How's the stairwell down coming?
The stairwell down is now deserted, but it does go about twice as far as it did before. It looks like Frankie and Seb managed to clear out most of the rubble that was blocking the doorway that Frankie had pulled up out. All the small rocks are gone, and now it's just these giant boulders that must weigh tons.
Okay, so those will need to be broken up before they can be removed.
You see a little bit of a debris in the outline of Seb, basically, that's been, cleared away, but it's like his body outline is still there.
Yeah, exactly. Can she see there isn't any there's no cracks or crevices or anything that she could squeeze through to get to see to the other side at all,
eh? Seeing or feeling? Seeing, perception check.
With guidance.
Smack.
Oh, it's only a 10.
A
Bollocks.
10. Yeah, you get up there and you climb around, kind of looking through the cracks of the stone. But it's just more stones on the other side. You don't feel any air. You don't see any light. It's pretty sealed up.
Well, she didn't really look around the outside of the house. So yeah, so she'll just putter out. She'll probably go out the kitchen door.
Okay. Yeah, you head to the back and go out the back door. Climbing out onto the stairs through the metal door in the back. You glance off to the left and you see a small gnomish woman. She's wearing a kind of a working smock and these big like rubber gloves that come all the way up to her shoulders. She's got like coveralls over that and boots, and she's got her hair tied back. It's curly and orange, kind of sticking out of the hair tie that she's got around her forehead, and she's wearing a mask as well, like a bandana that's tied around her neck. She's pulling these giant weeds out, tugging at them with her boot heels into the ground next to the roots, tugging on them. She stops and looks up and says, "Oh, hello there. Just pulling the weeds."
Hello. Who are you?
"Oh, hi, I'm from the Horticulture Guild. I was hired to come and clean out this mess."
Oh, were you hired by Xavier?
"Ah, yes. Well, I don't know. I don't know the master's name, but we were paid good gold, so we'll be working out here for a few days, cleaning up your yard."
Oh, that's thoughtful. Thank you very much. My name is Lindel.
"Hello, Lindel. Nice to meet you." I forgot her name. It's
Okay.
canon.
Obasan.
Yeah, Genevieve also met this little character, so I'll give you her name later.
Oh. Okay.
I'll have to go back and listen to our.
Lindell is probably just going to call her Granny, anyways.
Okay. Very nice to meet you, Lindell. All right, back to work. Lots to do.
Yes. Do you let me know if you need anything, or if there's anything I can do to help.
Oh, you don't need to help. You've paid us good money, but a glass of water on the back porch every once in a while wouldn't be bad.
You said us. Who else is here with you?
It's just me and this side of the lawn. Out front, I believe one of my coworkers is working out there. I don't know. I came by myself.
Okay. Hey, you wouldn't have, for a chance. We're rather new to the house, and we're still trying to discover everything about it because it's rather an odd house. Have you heard any rumors, or do you know anything about this building?
Rumors? Yeah, this is the old, the Colchester mansion. I do know that. There's lots of rumors and stories about ghosts and other hogwash. I don't subscribe to that. I think a good clean house will make this place fit for a king and dispel all of those rumors of ghosts. Just needs to be cleaned up a bit.
I agree. And then what are you going to do with all the roots and stuff like that once you've pulled them up?
Well, it depends on what they are. If any of them are useful, maybe we can put them in pots and replant them at the Horticulture Guild. Perhaps some of them might have useful ingredients. If we make any proceeds from them, of course, you will be compensated. But for most of this, it's just rubbish.
That's fair. I was just wondering.
Plenty of beasts on the surface that could use this for food.
That's fair. Good point. Yes, absolutely. We're not using it, so more than happy to give it to them for food.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was just wondering if you knew if there was like perhaps a compost bin or perhaps a woodshed or something like that on the yard.
I don't believe so. I think it's just the garden that wraps around the wrought iron fence that surrounds the property. But I haven't seen anything like a shed. No.
Well, then maybe you can help me answer a bit of a puzzle that I've got. We're new to town, right? We're new to this area. Where do most people, or how do most people get wood for their fireplaces?
Oh, wood for the fireplace. Well, we don't have much wood here on Liberty. We do have a forest on the surface, but way too costly to bring the wood way down here. It's used mostly for building material, but we do have some heavier woody grasses that we can use for burning. Most people tend to use magical means. Why do you ask?
I have a fireplace and there was wood in it that was there, and so I just assumed that that was for the fire. Um, but then now I'm like, well, what do I burn? Do we have like coal or something, or how do
Well,
we keep the house warm?
there is a very expensive wood that's imported for the higher classes. It's called blue spruce, and the blue spruce is actually one of the denser woods. If it is burned by magical means, it will last for a very long time. You don't no need to replenish it. Perhaps that's what she was using. Did you see any of the blue dust that is reminiscent of it in the base of the fireplace?
I didn't notice any
Well,
blue
go back and
dust.
check. It
Oh,
could be a blue spruce, but I do believe that that sort of wood, if completely charred through, if you don't see the blue anymore, then it is spent, unfortunately.
oh, okay. Um, do they do like coal or oil or anything like that for heating down here?
Well, I think Mrs. Colchester was a bit of an inventor. Perhaps she had some other method. I'm not aware.
That's a good suggestion. Um, to meet you, Gurney. Good luck with the weeds, and I'll make sure to set out a glass of water for you.
Yes, of course. And if you're looking for any blue spruce, we can provide it at the Horticulture Guild. It does fetch a
Oh,
pretty penny, though, while supplies last. You know how that goes.
how much is it?
Well, let me think. I don't have the books in front of me, but I believe for one decent-sized log that would last one season, I'd probably run you about 500 gold pieces.
Okay. That's a lot of money. Um,
Indeed it is. But if you've got a house
yes.
this large to heat, could come in handy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes. I'm just going to look around your yard here a little bit. You don't. Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yep, yep. Back to work. Bye-bye. She goes back to work pulling the weeds. You walk out
Yay.
onto the path that leads to the wrought iron gate, maybe like 20 or 30 feet away from the wall of the mansion. But it's completely overgrown, so tall you can't even see the harbor. It's like these massive weeds of bamboo kind of leaning over the pathway, and you kind of have to push through it to get to the gate. But eventually, you can see the heavy wrought iron gate. The pillars of which are on top of a small, I say small, but it's about as tall as you, stone wall.
Okay. Um, as much as she can, I know it's mostly like overgrown weeds, but as much as she can, she'd like to try to find like little like nooks and crannies or any like passages and like just try to like map out the yard as best she can, like seeing if she can find any, and specifically any trapdoors that lead like into like some kind of basement or some kind of cellar, and
Sure.
or any type of like storage shed on the property.
Okay. You do know that. Well, I guess you wouldn't know this. Never mind. Nope, you don't know that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So go ahead and roll a perception check for me as you go up and down the path, kind of looking for any offshoots.
Hi, birds.
18.
18.
Good enough. It doesn't look like there's any offshoot paths, but you know that maybe once she's finished and clears out the yard, it'd be easier to find. But you're not sure how long it's going to take for a couple of gnomes to get through this mess of a yard.
Hmm. I didn't see anything from like overhead as I was like flying back and forth as an eagle.
No. It pretty much you guys found everything that could be found in the yard when you searched it the previous day. When you scoured all the floors looking for the robot parts.
Okay.
The only things
Well,
of note in the yard were a metal kazoo and the uh, base stone with the year the house was built.
right, yes. Okay. So she'll scurry back inside and like run back to the fireplace in the dining room and see if there's
Uh-huh.
any blue dust.
All right, roll a perception check.
Lots
Lots of perception checks.
of perception checks.
I know.
13.
13. You do not see any of the blue dust.
Hmm. How about the fireplace in the grand foyer?
Roll a perception check for me again.
Ten.
You see a tiny little fleck of blue dust.
Okay.
But both logs in both fireplaces are completely charred, blackened. Oh, I think I lost you again.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Okay. I'm just typing as I'm taking notes.
Okay.
Okay, so at some point, someone probably used this blue spruce log. How many fireplaces do we have in this house?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 fireplaces. Holy shit.
Yeah, and of them, it looks like 1, 2, 3 of them are connected all the way through the center front of the house. And the one in the lab is connected to the forge on the top floor.
Hmm.
And the one in your bedroom is connected to the one in Genevieve's bedroom.
Hmm.
But the one in the dining room is not connected to any of the others.
Okay. And like my bedroom fireplace didn't have that weird little copper tube thing, did it?
I don't know. You can run upstairs and check.
I was just gonna run upstairs and check. Up
All
the
right, you run
wall.
upstairs and check, and yes, you do find there's a much smaller little copper pipe, but there is one.
Is there any blue dust in her room?
No, you don't see any blue dust there, but your log is completely charred.
Yeah. But there's this little like candy cane copper pipe there.
Yes, but instead of coming out of, or no, it does. It comes out of the floor. Yeah, it comes out of the floor.
Hmm. If she like taps it, does it make a hollow noise or does it make like a solid noise?
I mean, it makes a hollow noise. It's hollow. It's a tube.
Okay, she's gonna try to do the same thing. She's gonna try to blow into it.
You blow into it. Your breath goes in a little bit, but then you feel resistance.
Okay, so there's still something blocking it.
When you pull
Uh,
away, you get kind of a weird acrid taste in your mouth.
like acrid, like acid, like like cleaning chemical, like
Yeah, kind of like a Windexy kind of.
oh,
You feel a little bit
uh,
lightheaded from it at first, but you shake it off.
like spit a little bit. Actually, she's resistant to poison, so so whatever this is, it must be pretty potent.
You notice on the refrigerator that there's a number to call. No.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. She went downstairs, pulls out the house phone. Ah, it looks at things.
Quick! I need a poison control.
Exactly. It had a symbol of
And
a
a
medieval
biohazard symbol on
hand.
it.
Yeah,
A medieval hand.
exactly. um. Okay. So yes. Oh yeah, she'll pop back into the workshop.
Mhm.
Is the door? Are both of the vault security doors open?
Yeah, it's open still.
Okay. So she'll go back into the workshop and she'll
Climb through
take the
the broken wooden door into the hollow, well, not hollow, the thick steel tube, and crawl your way across it through the vault door and plop down into the workshop. It's still very warm and humid inside here.
Yeah. What is there's a forge running, right?
It's not running currently. There is solidified metal in the pot, but the dragon head on the rock wall above it is not currently. It's not like pouring molten metal out of it or anything, and it looks like the slate that the pouring is done onto a mold. There's currently no mold in place, but you can see there's several molds lined up of different weapon outlines laying next to it. And then there's a smelter next to that, and the smelter is emanating quite a fair amount of heat as you get closer to it. It becomes a little bit oppressive, and you don't really want to get too close.
Oh. So the smelter, can she see or can she tell like which part of it is hot? Like is there like an oven door like where you would put more coal or more wood into?
There is a vent in the front, and you can see some flames kind of licking up very intensely. There's an orange glow to it. The entire thing is emanating heat, but it does look like there is some kind of a bin or insert, and there's a shovel laying next to it with several like ingots of metal that are on the floor right next to it.
Hmm. Is there like a cover to it that opens and like that's how you put the metal pots in and out or?
It looks like some kind of a hatch with a handle
Hmm. Is
that slides open
there
on
any
the
sort of
side of it.
like leather apron or heat shield of any kind?
Roll
The
a.
myth.
You want to do an investigation?
I want to do perception because I'm better at that, but
Okay, do
sure,
perception.
investigation.
Investigation is a lower DC.
Okay, I'll do investigation.
Okay.
With guidance, as I'm looking around. 7.
Just enough. On the back side of the
Oh, okay.
board that has all of the, unpolished and unhammered weapons hanging onto it. On the back side, you find another shovel. There is a heavy leather apron, two large sets of gloves, and what looks like a welding mask.
Okay. No apron though. Gloves and mask. That's it.
No, it is like a coverall type tube made out of rubber.
Uh, she'll don the gloves and the mask.
Okay, yeah, you put them on. They're pretty oversized for your body.
Yeah.
The gloves keep falling off, and you have to keep pushing them up your arms.
Mrs. Colchester was a human, a dwarf.
You're not sure, but based on the size of this equipment, she was definitely a medium-sized humanoid of some sort.
Okay.
Not much larger than maybe a dwarf, but larger than a dwarf.
Yeah, she'll just like try and like look at the thing and see if she can like open the lid to see if there's anything cooking inside.
Sure, yeah, you slide the door open by the handle, and immediately you're hit with a blast of hot air, and it singes the surface of your face closest to it, and you recoil a little bit, squinting your eyes. It's just a hot, glowing ball of white and yellow on the inside, so bright that
There,
you can barely focus your eyes.
there isn't like anything currently cooking though. It's just hot.
You're not sure. So you're just wearing the apron and the gloves. Would you like to
A
use the
mask.
mask? Okay,
Yes,
you
and
put
the
on the
mask.
mask.
Sorry, and the
Yeah.
mask.
Okay, you put on the mask and flip it down, and through the visor now, it's not quite as bright, and you can see on the inside there is a plate of some sort with flames just coming up all around it. And the plate is the same size as the head of the shovel, and there is a small hole in the center that looks like it drains down or something like that.
Okay, like something would sit on the plate.
Yes.
The plate itself is removable.
You're not sure.
It looks like you would put something in a container that then sits on this plate.
Or something goes on the plate to be heated.
And then melts down this hole and comes out somewhere.
I'd say you're intelligent enough to figure that out, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's hot. She's still got her detect magic up.
Hmm.
Is there any? Is this fire magical?
No, there's no magic coming from this.
Oh. Can she see what's burning? Like, is it coal? Is it wood? Is it?
You just see flames shooting up. It's
In a
pressurized
brief,
somehow, but you're not sure how.
she'll be like, "Hello, is anyone in there?"
Ah, help me! I'm on fire!
So exactly,
No,
hello.
there's nothing, no response.
Okay. All right. Well, she'll close the lid. That's interesting. And
You close
there's
the
no
lid, and
mold.
immediately you feel a little bit of relaxation in your skin, and you're like, "Whew!" You start to pant and breathe, and sweat runs down your face.
And there's no. So as best she can tell, something would go into the smelter, melt, and then go into the pot, and then into the mold.
You're thinking it probably feeds down the tube and then is pushed out the dragon's mouth somehow,
Oh, okay. Okay. So
and then
if I
the
were to put
metal
a couple of
pours.
these ingots in the smelter, they would eventually come out the dragon's head super hot,
Right, and then you
and then
could
keep going.
pour from the crucible into a mold.
Cool.
But if you were to do it
Okay.
right now, it would just collect in the crucible, and then if it overflowed, it would just go everywhere because there's
Yeah.
no mold to pour into.
There's nothing to pour it into. Yeah.
No. And you're not sure how much metal
Okay.
fills how much space, so it's a
She
little
is not. This is way outside of her depth. This is
right.
Xavier's thing. So
But you
She'll put.
gather that Kat Colchester was definitely a master craftswoman.
Yeah. So she'll put the gloves and the mask on the table in like very clear view,
Mhm.
and she'll just put like she'll get a piece of paper and she'll just put a little heart on the piece of paper and just like tuck it in one of the gloves.
Okay, yeah, you tuck that into the glove. You kind of lay them out, presenting on the table with all of the unfinished daggers, and there's some shields leaning up against it. And none of them really finished. None of them have straps. They don't look like they've been hammered out completely. Some of them might have some hammer marks on them, but they're very rough.
Hmm. Anything else interesting looking in this room? There's no like bin of blue wood or anything like that, eh? Is
Not that you can see, no.
there any bags or backpacks or sacks or anything like that?
Nothing like that. There are a couple of wooden crates, but you guys have already looted them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just piles of scrap metal and unfinished weapons and armor.
Yeah. And that
And
is
then
way
some like
outside of her.
yeah, empty alchemy bottles. There's some other little gizmos and gadgets and tools, but nothing really of note. Actually, roll me one more perception check. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead and roll one.
Ooh, 22.
You find, let's see. You find a roll of copper wire. Half of it is used. So, however many feet a roll of copper wire is, you get half of that.
Okay.
You find 3 small vials that are empty.
Okay, okay, okay. Half a roll of copper wire.
Mhm.
Three
3
small vials.
small empty vials and a pair of pliers.
Oh, perfect. Gonna look for all this stuff earlier. That's perfect. This is exactly what I need. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay, she'll put it in her bag. Um, and she's not much for reading, so she won't worry about any of the notes or books. But yes, oh, that's exciting. That's a good start. So yeah, so she'll head on out back to the lounge. Is there
Yeah, you
any
climb
sort
back
of
through the
like
tunnel. Seb is looking pretty good now. He's repaired a lot of his lower body. It seems like he's repairing the parts of his upper body that were damaged now.
okay? Um, and is there any sort of like is there like a charging bar on him or some kind of indication as to like how
In
long
the
or when he's
schematics,
fully charged?
it said that from 1 hit point, he can heal back to full health in 1 hour. So you're thinking
Okay.
that maybe it won't take the full hour because he was still able to move up the stairs. So the avalanche didn't
Okay.
kill him.
He's currently deactivated though. He's not like receiving input or like tracking me or anything like that.
No, he's activated, but he is busy healing himself.
Yeah.
Self repair.
I'm just gonna walk up and like tap him on his like wheel or on his arm.
Okay,
Does
you
he
reach
look at
in
me?
and you take.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Let's see. You take 2 points of lightning damage as you reach in and pzzz, and you pull your hand back
Ah!
instinctively. And
Ow,
oh
ow,
god,
ow,
that was
ow,
a bad
ow, ow,
idea.
ow. Oh, that was a bad idea. Um. Ouch.
Seb stops repairing
Seb.
for a moment and looks down at you, still bathed in just electrical charge coming from the floor and ceiling.
Okay, good. Hey Seb, when you're done charging, I have a job for you. But in the meantime, um, can you just help clean up around the house and make sure everything gets nice and clean for everyone, please? When you're done charging and repairing and everything.
His head kind of moves up and down to signify yes, and then he goes back to repairing himself.
Okay. So I'll let him repair it while I go shopping, and Lindel will skip happily prancing down the stairs, and she'll go out. Ooh, she didn't meet the other coworker, so she'll go out the front door this time and see if she can
Okay.
find the other gnome that's out there.
All right, you go out the front door and make your way into the front entryway. On the left and the right side of the stairs, again, the bamboo-sized weeds growing up on either side. You don't see any movement. You don't see any people on this side in the yard. You see a couple of people out on the boardwalk just walking back and forth. There's some workers on the signal tower that are hard at work uh, directing ship traffic. But otherwise, you don't see anybody on your property.
That's okay. So she will pull up the hood of her cloak,
Mhm.
um, feeling a little bit, sure, adjust her staff of Trevor on her back, and she'll make sure Kumo is like secured in the hood of her cloak, and she'll just walk, still feeling quite uncomfortable in Gold District. So she won't like walk chest out down the middle of the street or anything like that, but she's also gonna try very, very, very hard not to look like a slinking street urchin that is in a place where she's not supposed to be.
Sure. I think just by the size of your money pouch right now, nobody would think that.
And she's going to. Did they pass any sort of like bank or money lender or anything like that?
Let's see. Roll me a history check real quick. See if
Yeah.
maybe you cataloged something in your mind.
5.
You have no idea. Gold District is like another planet.
She'll wander in the direction. The one place she does know is the magic item shop, right?
Yeah, Fantastic Filigree and the Flatland Brewhouse, and then the bookstore that's in between them. You're very familiar with these.
Yeah.
And then the temple,
So
of
she'll head to
course. You
the
know
front.
that the Temple of SE1 is on the same side as the Flatland, and you know that the Temple of the Spriggan is on the other side.
Yes. So I guess she'll head to the Fantastic Filigree.
Okay. Do you want to go the route of Silver District, or do you want to go the route of Gold District to get there?
Let me see. So at the moment, we are building number 23.
Right. So you know you could bamf across pretty
And so,
easily and take the Silver District Bridge, where the not courthouse, the Chamber of Commerce was, where you guys bamfed
right.
over earlier. You know you could
Yeah.
make that gap no problem. If you wanted to go that route
Yeah.
and through the shipyard in Silver District,
Mm,
or you could go the Gold District route toward the Temple of the Spriggan and over the Electrum Bridge on the other side.
yes. Um, she's gonna take. It's a nice day. She's gonna take the long route because she wants to save her spell slot.
Okay.
And she's just gonna walk. I don't want to say stealthily because I don't want to make it seem like she's slinking.
No, just
Um,
inconspicuously.
Inconspicuously. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. So she's just walking inconspicuously and just trying to like take in as much of this as she can. Very much like street urchin mapping, like
Do you want to take
where
notes as you
everything
walk?
is. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so then we'll put you at a slow pace. So
Slow pace, 100%.
to get through and take notes of what everything is on your way to the fantastic filigree, um, we'll say it'll take you about an hour and a half at a slow pace.
Fine. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. But with your knowledge of city streets and such, from then on, at a slow pace, it'll take you less time because
Oh,
you will have
perfect.
mapped the area.
Lovely.
Uh, so moving through crowds and stuff will be a little bit easier. You'll know where to stand and where to go and who not to get it, in front of, that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. All right, so you make your way past your house, and again, you catalog the abandoned house next to you. It's a little bit smaller than the Colchester estate, thinner, still the same height, 3 stories, and there's a little bit of rock wall in between the 3 houses that are here. This one's actually boarded up. Some of the windows are broken and have been boarded up since. It looks like it's been abandoned quite a bit longer than the Colchester estate. And then as you walk past the second house, this one seems abandoned. You're not sure if anyone lives there. The yard is pretty grown up as well. Not as grown up as the Colchester estate, but still in a kind of an abandoned kind of look. But none of the windows are broken. Nothing's boarded up. It's just a house. So you're not sure if somebody lives there currently and has been, off for a long time, or uh, could have just been another house that was sold to the city and hasn't been bought yet. Okay. You make your way from the edge of Silver District there into Gold District proper, past the stairwell number 6 where you guys have been before, and you see that. Inside the stairwell, it looks like the center column has a door in it, and you notice that the same symbol that was on the uh, on the Hall of Justice door, that kind of triangular shape that was blue and white, is also posted on the sign hanging above that door. So you think that maybe it's some kind of a law person that's
Okay.
associated with the same uh, you know, faction or guild or whatever they are that run the Hall of Justice.
Yeah. And do I know anything about where this stairwell leads?
Yeah, you've been up it a couple times before. It leads up to level 3, into one of the like poorer orcish inhabited areas. It's one of the offshoots that has like a neighborhood and businesses that are owned particularly by one race of people. Level 3 seems to be split up like that. Um, there's also some mining tunnels down that way. Most of the orcs on island and dwarves are all working class. So that's where that stairwell leads, and that stairwell as well keeps going up further to level 2.
Okay.
But it doesn't go all the way to the surface. You have to go through level 3 to get to a stairwell that goes up higher. Um, anything else? Keep going.
Yeah, she'll just like make some. Does she? Yeah, she'll take a minute since she's got her cloak up and she's being kind of inconspicuous. And she'll just kind of like sneak over. You said there's a building, a door with the symbol on
It
it.
looks like it's a tower, and the tower just has the grand staircase kind of wrapping around it in either direction.
Oh, okay. Is there like a door? Sorry, a window on the ground floor?
There's no window, just a single door, and it's a tall door, tall enough for a pretty decently tall orc to walk through.
Okay. No, then she'll just keep going.
Okay. All right, so you go back out onto the harbor. You notice there's a couple of ships there that are in dock, just sleeping in the harbor, rocking away, as some of the other major galleons and ships, merchant ships, travel through the channel in between there. You hear some deckhands yelling at people to unfurl the sails, and other people say, "No, put up the sails." And it's kind of comical that nobody can figure out how to sail through this channel. You
Hmm.
turn the corner, and there on the corner is the Horticulture Guild. You can see that it's written on a sign that hangs over the door. It's a taller wooden structure that's decorated quite nicely and very well landscaped on the outside. There's hedges that are, trimmed into the shape of different animals and shapes, and there's like park benches, and it seems like you're heading into. It's not a forested region, but like a park region.
Oh, cool.
So it's
And
like
so that
what would you call it? Like an artsy village district.
and so that's building number 7.
That's building number 7.
Okay. Cool.
And you figure that's where Granny's from.
Yeah.
Okay. And go past that.
Keep going.
Okay. So next on the corner, you see it's a dock maintenance building. You can see some workers carrying large beams of wood back and forth. Some of them are just chatting away, leaning against the building. They've got heavy belts on with hammers and like baskets of nails that are attached to the belt. Large, men, workers, some women with their hair tied back. They're flexing their muscles and telling bad jokes and pushing each other around and stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So
Going.
past that, building number 9. Let's see. This is a bookstore. It doesn't look like it's open. The lights are dark on the inside, but there is a kind of a carved into the rock face that's the facade of the building, an
Mhm.
open book. And in the open book, it says Bound Logic.
Okay.
Actually, what languages do you read?
I think it's just halfling and common, honestly. One sec.
You notice that it's also written underneath
Yeah.
in uh, you said halfling and uncommon or
Just
undercommon?
plain common, not
Just
undercommon. Plain
oh,
common.
okay. And halfling also?
Yeah. I wish I spoke undercommon. That would be very suiting to my background, but no.
No, there's always an opportunity to learn. But you do notice in maybe 7 or 8 different languages on this book is the same thing written, um, bound logic.
Yeah, okay.
It's written in common up top, and then about like 4th down, it's written in halfling.
Hmm.
And
Nice.
you assume the other ones probably say the same thing, but they're in languages you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, past that, um, building number 10 is a restaurant. There's a couple tables outside. It's a very fancy looking building, very Art Nouveau style. It's got lots of swooping lines, whiplash lines of wooden intricate carving that wrap around stained glass windows, and it's got a nice open doorway. Foyer that goes inside. Through the stained glass windows, you can see rows of tables and a bar on the inside. There's people dressed in all white walking back and forth carrying trays of food. There's a couple people there sitting on the outside dressed in very nice clothing. One is a gentleman. He has his leg crossed over the other and he sits back and sips something from a cup. And looks like they're just enjoying the meals. The restaurant is called the Leafy Green.
Aww.
Okay. Past that is a very large manor house. It's got 2 staircases that go up on either side to this grand doorway, very heavy wooden door that looks like it opens on both sides. And the mansion itself, you're not sure if it's a dwelling or a business or what it is, but it's also 3 stories tall, and it's about twice the size of the Colchester estate. It's got double as many windows. There's balconies on the outside on all 3 floors, with like French doors, double doors that open up outside into the harbor. Um, you don't see any markings on the door,
Hmm.
but it is a very fancy, ornate-looking building.
As she's walking past, just out of curiosity, does she see any sort of like um, a jeweled necklace on display in one of the windows or anything like that? Like
Roll a perception check for me.
the urchin in her is like, just anything valuable that might
Yes, in
go
the dock maintenance
missing.
building, you see there's a mannequin. No.
Exactly. um, is this an opportunity? Could I give myself like? Could I cast the spell guidance and it not be like? Would it be weird for me to cast that spell as I'm walking around?
No,
Like, would
I don't
people
think so.
notice it or?
I mean,
Okay.
you just smack yourself in the head like you forgot something.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, okay.
Nobody would think
Okay,
a thing about it.
perfect. So she'll cast guidance on herself as she uh, is looking at this
You
building.
go, oh gosh, I forgot my shopping list, and then you look up at the building.
Yeah, 15.
15. Okay. In the windows, no, it looks like there's curtains that are mostly pulled. A couple of them are
Okay, yeah.
slit a little bit, and you can see some electric light coming from the inside
So,
of the giant manor, estate, mansion, whatever it is.
hmm,
But you don't see any like valuables or jewels or anything like that. You see a couple of door handles that are carved pretty nicely, maybe made out of brass or some other kind of metal,
hmm.
filigree, but yeah, nothing really of value.
On to number 12.
Okay, number 12. Uh, next is a very tall, narrow building with what looks like a horizontally slatted door. And the door of this building is massive. It is like twice as wide as the estate door on the previous building, and tall enough that you could almost wheel a small ship through it.
Wow.
But otherwise, it doesn't really have any unique features on it. It's just a building that's carved into the side of the wall, and it's got this big wooden door. You do notice on the other side, across from it, in the harbor, there it looks like there's a ramp that goes up,
Okay.
and the ramp meets the boardwalk. And right there in the center of that ramp and in the boardwalk, as you walk across it, are
Hmm.
what looks like railroad tracks.
Oh.
Two long metal beams that extend all the way from this large door to the ramp and down the ramp into the water.
Oh, cool. I wonder if they either put trains in the water or they use some sort of cart to pull. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay.
Roll a history check for me, real quick.
4.
You have no idea what this is for.
Nope. Maybe they put fish on a train and who knows? Um,
It's
that's
where babies
okay.
come from.
Exactly. Maybe this is where babies come from. Um,
All right, so you make it past
yeah.
the big door. Now you notice there is a. So it looks like it's a 3-story shopping arcade. It's all made out of wood, and each floor has a massive sweeping balcony that comes out, uh, maybe 20 feet out into the dock, and they're
Hmm.
all lined with storefronts and booths that people are set up. The balconies have stairwells that go from one to the other that spiral up on both sides. And it looks like into the rock face as well. It looks like there's some kind of a mall or shopping arcade in here. There's a big sign on the second balcony that stretches really far across, and in gilt gold letters it says, "The Artisans Arcade."
On the second balcony that says Artisans Arcade.
It looks like there are lots of people shopping. It is the holiday season because of the festival that just ended a few days prior.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people carrying around their bags and talking to each other, jovial. There's lots of high elves in this area. There's some craftsmen that walk back and forth with like jeweler's eyes in, and some of them are carrying their wares back and forth. You see people talking and laughing and holding up items and looking at them, trying them on each other. Um, it, it just looks like it's a nice shopping area for handmade goods.
um, um, oh, yeah. Nope, definitely. Lindel's gonna detract from her current path because she's
Mhm.
also easily distracted. and she's going to wander through the arcade.
Okay, yeah, you go into the first balcony. There's an entrance that you walk through, and it looks like there's maybe 10 stalls set up on the lower level. And there's a doorway that leads into a building on the first floor. Through the windows, you can see shops and storefronts. So, what kind of goods or wares are you looking for?
She's just kind of wanting to get just an idea of the kinds of wares that they're selling. So is it like there's like a ring stall and there's like amulets and there's like
It
or
looks
is it
like
all like
maybe there's
these are my shovels like
inside of one of the windows. It looks like one of the shops might sell some kind of gemstones or jewelry. But most of it is handicrafts, like woven baskets, and there's clothing and shawls and blankets and bedding and curtains and there's a man that's sitting there on the bottom dock or the bottom ledge where the railing is of the balcony. He's got his feet up on the balcony and he's got a paintbrush. The tip of it's in his mouth, and he's painting the harbor. And you can see stacks of canvases on either side of him that are for sale. There's other people that have blankets unfurled, and they have little like handmade crafted goods. Some of them are like cross stitched or not cross stitched. What do you say? Like embroidered things, bits and bobs to put on your clothing, decorations of different kinds that are laid out on their blankets. Um, there's some people serving hot drinks. You can smell the smells of candy and fruits and things that people are selling for the shoppers as they go from store to store. Um, so all manner of handmade gifts.
Oh, sorry, David. Just 1 second here.
Sure.
I've got someone pestering me. 1 second.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay, you can say it now.
What do you want?
Hi, Thomas. It's Grandma Kathy.
Hi, Grandma. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You on day off?
Yeah, I work tomorrow, so I'm off today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do we get to see you this Christmas? Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. I just disconnected the recorder bot for a minute. I wanted to make sure
Okay,
that
sorry.
I didn't
That was
record your
weird.
conversation.
Okay, so so lots of little stalls and handicraft shawls, blankets, curtains, paintings, embroidery, hot drinks, candies, fruits,
Mhm.
all sorts of
In
things.
the
Okay.
other window on the other side of the door, it looks like there's some kind of a furniture maker in here. It's a wood crafter. You can see him carving a table leg on a table.
Oh,
You can see a couple of chairs hanging on hooks on the wall. There's like an old armoire inside. But yeah, it looks like he makes different furniture or maybe repairs and restores furniture.
oh, okay. She will wander into the furniture maker's place.
Okay. Yeah, you go in the main entrance of the first level of the shopping arcade, and you see a
Mhm.
hallway. There's people walking back and forth down the hallway, going from shop to shop. It looks like maybe there's maybe half a dozen different shops down this hallway,
Mhm.
3 on either side. The first
Okay.
door on the left is yeah the woodworking shop. The door is open. You can smell different varieties of wood. You can see sawdust on the floor that's being tracked in and out of that first door.
Hmm.
Make your way in.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, you walk inside. It looks like the whole floor is covered in kind of a light layer of sawdust. There's different wood planks laid up against the far wall, and you see hanging from hooks and on shelves are small pieces of furniture, chairs, stools, benches, cabinets, all that manner of thing.
Fabulous. Is there someone who appears to be the shopkeep or a desk attendant or?
Yeah, his back is turned to you right now as he labors working on a table leg, filing bits of wood off onto the floor. Looks like an older human male. He's got a gray, bushy beard, and he's got a pair of goggles on to protect his eyes, and he's got his gray hair pulled back into a kind of a man bun ponytail, and he's wearing a long sleeve shirt that's rolled up to the elbows, and he's got those suspenders on. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hang on just a second.
Sure, no worries.
Okay, sorry, that was my boss.
Jeez, yeah, that's an important phone call to take.
Yeah, my boss was like, I don't want to put together the wrong stuff, so which stuff is good?" I was like, "Crap. Okay, let me try and walk you through it." Anyway, back to the arcade. So you're in the wood shop. So you see that the man that's working on the table leg, he's got his sleeves rolled up, and he's got those suspenders that go on your sleeves to keep him up. He's got a vest on and a pair of normal pants and some working shoes. And he's hard at work, a little bit of sweat on his brow.
Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me.
He doesn't hear you. He just keeps filing away.
Kind of like as opposed to like tapping him and trying. Is there a way that she can like walk around like into his field of vision?
Yeah, there is. The floor is pretty open, other than like some planks of wood and other furniture that's arranged on the outskirts of the floor. You could walk around through the sawdust.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, you walk around until you're kind of on the side of the table, like waving at him where he can see you. He puts his goggles up and stops filing, puts the table leg down on the with a clink onto the top of the workbench, and he brushes the sawdust off of himself. It billows up into the air, and he looks down and says, "Oh, hello there. Can I help you?"
Hello. My name is Lindel. Nice to meet you.
Ah, hello, Lindel. This is my shop. Welcome to. I haven't named this shop yet.
Welcome to insert shop name here.
Yes, exactly. Random wood shop. My name is
Random
Random
Worker.
Worker. Yeah, what can I help you
Random
with?
Worker. Nice to meet you. I have a bit of an odd question for you. I
Yes,
just
go
moved
ahead.
into a new house. And it needs some furnishings, and I was just wondering about a quote on a couple of pieces of furniture.
A quote on a couple pieces of furniture. All right. What kinds of furniture are you looking for?
Well, how much would a new bed frame cost for about
New bed frame.
a
Let's
medium-sized
see
creature?
here. Medium-sized creature, new bed frame. That'd run you maybe. Well, it depends on if you want it handmade or if you want it imported. If you want something that's already made imported, just a common bed frame, that would run you maybe about 15 to 20 gold pieces, plus the import fee, maybe about another 5 gold. I'd say, yeah, 25 gold. You could have one imported. If you want it handmade at my shop, it's only about 10 gold pieces out of normal wood, plus labor, 15 gold pieces, but it would take about a week to produce.
Okay. Um, and then how much for a dining room table that would seat maybe, let me see, 6 to 10 people?
6 to 10 people, that would be a pretty long one. About as long as my shop. I'd say I'd have to produce it maybe in a couple of sections. Again, from a common wood made here in my shop, it might take about a week and a half to make. I'd say each section would be about 10 gold, and then there would be a delivery charge. But
How
do a
much?
dwarven across the channel would do that for you.
Okay. And how much just for the construction of the table?
Just the construction plus labor, I would say for the 2 leaves. With the week to week and a half time, I'd say about 15 to 20 gold for that.
Okay. And how much do you normally charge for chairs?
Chair, that's not too bad. That's only about a day's work. Again, common wood for a medium-sized creature. I could produce one for you in a day's time for maybe 2 gold. I do
And
have
then
plenty of a selection here in the store as well, ranging from 1 to 3 gold pieces.
nice, cool.
You could walk out with one
Um,
today.
oh, that'd be lovely. Do you make any sort of specialty things? Like, is there anything that's like your piece de résistance or anything like that?
I'm not sure what language that was, but yeah, I believe I could produce just about anything. However, my most recent specialty would be well, I make pieces for ships
Oh,
mostly. So if you need a bed that's constructed to the hull curve of a ship, bench seating, even deck benches. I even made a captain's bed for a merchant captain that came in a few months ago. I'd say that's probably my forte right now, is making pieces that conform to odd shapes, small rooms, curved walls, that sort of thing.
okay. Lovely. Well, it was very nice to meet you. I think that'll do for right now. I don't necessarily
Oh,
want to
sure.
commission anything without checking with my family. But
Well, you're always welcome into my shop. Was it Lindel?
Lindel, yes.
All right. Maybe next time bring somebody with you burly if you want to carry something out of the shop. Then you don't have to pay the dwarven moving company to do it for you.
Yeah, I'm not very strong. But thank you for your time.
Very well. Thank you for your time as well. Have a nice
Yeah,
day. He puts his
you
goggles
too.
back on and goes back to working on that table leg.
Lovely. Um, okay, so she'll wander through the rest of the arcade.
Okay.
Just kind of like she'll take like a few minutes just looking at each blanket and looking at each stall and just she's not necessarily interested in buying anything specifically, but just kind of like taking a minute to be like, oh, like they make blankets and like looking at the different kinds of blankets that they make, and then looking at like watching the painter paint for a few minutes and that kind of
I
stuff.
would say just about anybody you could think of that produces things for the home or for gifts, even for ships. There's a lot of tourism in this area as well. Lots of people coming and going. And with the festival only 3 days past, there's lots of seasonal goods as well. But anything you could want for the home, there's stained glass painters here. Um, there's people that do minor glass blowing. Pretty much anything you want. There's people
Hmm.
that make official documents. Scripters and scribes. All sorts of stuff. So it really depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through and describe every single
No,
floor
no,
of
no,
this place and
no,
every
no, no. I
shop,
don't, and I wouldn't expect you to. That's way too much. But
right?
yeah,
But you think
I
pretty
just
much any kind
imagine.
of craft good you could find here.
Yeah, lovely. Um, yeah, no, that's perfect. The one thing she would like to try to find, if there is a place here, anyone that like, is there like a gem store or like a high expense like jewelry store?
Not in
Probably going to be a
the
different shop, she would
Artisans
suspect.
Arcade. It's mostly things that
Yeah,
have already been made into jewelry, but if you're looking for like base metals and base stones, somebody that deals in even uncut stones of any high quality or really high dollar amount, it's not really in the Artisans Arcade.
yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, so yeah, just take some time to take stock, and then she'll move on to building number 14.
Okay. As you walk out of the Artisans Arcade, one of the people in one of the booths comes out with a small tray of fluffy cake looking like desserts, and they leaned down and said, "Would you like a free sample?"
Oh, I would love a free sample. What is it?
It is a special cake that comes from the Isle of Pelendon. My family is from Pelendon, and we specialize in all sorts of wheat and flour-based goods. This is an orange cake that is seasonal to the area right now. Would you like to try it?
I would love to.
You take a little bitty square piece of cake, and it looks like it has a layer of chocolate on top. Pop it in your mouth. It is
She doesn't pop it in her
delicious.
mouth. No, no,
Oh,
no. She
okay.
doesn't pop it in her mouth. She
Okay,
just
yeah, you
takes
take
it,
one. Great.
but she's very, very suspicious about what happened with the ale and the being locked in perpetuity. So she's just very suspicious of stall food right now.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you
So
take one
she's
in your
gonna
hand,
take it,
and she nods to you and
and she
goes
would
on
like
to
to
the next
sleight of
person.
hand. She would like to sleight of hand, like pop it in her mouth, but actually slip it into her sleeve.
Okay, roll a sleight of hand check.
Yeah. Of all the things to make a check for, fooling
No, I mean,
NPCs into
you never
believing you
know. You
like their
never know
shit.
what can happen. You do want to be cautious.
Yes. 21.
Pretty easily, yeah, it pops down into your sleeve. You make it look like it goes into your mouth, and you chew. She doesn't really seem to notice anything. Moves on to the next customer.
Okay. I'm just gonna add a piece of orange cake to my loot.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like a little sample size piece, maybe no bigger than an inch by inch cube.
Cute. Alrighty.
All right, on
Next
to the next
building.
place. Yes, this is kind of unlike the rest of the buildings and stalls in this area. It's a little bit more like a darker feel to it. It's like more of a cool colored building that's tall and a little bit ominous looking. It's kind of dark from the inside, but the front door is open. And it's got these large, billowing, kind of silk and satin curtains that are hanging over the entrance. You notice like just a faint glow coming from the windows inside, and there's a sign over the top that says "Arcane Focus."
Ooh. Oh. Just open Arcane Focus. We'll make a mental note and she'll come back later.
Okay. Yeah, you pass that building on to the next one, and you see there is a shorter building. It's only 2 stories tall. It looks like the top story might be an apartment, maybe not part of the store, it has like the curtains drawn on these windows as well, and they're dark. But the lower level is all lit up on the inside. There's a couple of people walking in and out of the front door. It's a narrow front door, just a single door with a pull lever on it. And above the door, there is another wooden sign with a little potion bottle on it that says Alchemists Anonymous. Herbs and
Oh, that's
potions.
cool.
You can see in the windowsills on the inside, there's a couple of shelves that are lined with different colored bottles, and the light kind of shines through them and sparkles. You can see some people talking on the inside.
Whoa. Ooh, maybe she can get more vials from here. Okay. We'll make mental note of that, and
Sure.
she'll keep going.
All right. Next building,
Building
number
16.
16. Number 16, you can hear all sorts of chatter and weird sounds coming from the inside. All of the windows have bars on them. You do notice that some of the barred windows actually jut out and look like cages. And inside the cages are little perches with different varieties of animals that peep and make different noises on the inside. You see a strange white fluffy creature kind of curl around one of um, the like play rings on the inside. You see some birds that are chirping and squawking away. Um, Other strange little creatures. And there is a door with a barred gate in front. Looks like the gate opens and there's a small entry area before there's another wooden door that leads inside. And it looks like there's little windows on the inside of this entryway to either side with more cages with animals on the inside that you can see from the outside of the building. And this one is called Fantastic Familiars.
Lindel is going inside 100%.
Yeah, and Fantastic Familiars, the Familiars is spelled with a PH also, kind of a goofy little pun.
Oh, like so it's PH fantastic, PH familiars.
Yes.
I do like alliteration in this town.
Fantastic. I spelled this wrong. Fantastic. There we go. There we go. Fantastic Familiars with a PH.
Hmm.
All right. So you go in. The iron gate opens up, and off to the left and the right in the cages, you can hear and and little animals are peeping around and bouncing around in their cages. You can see some fluffy birds. There's a rabbit. It looks like all the furry creatures are in a cage together, and they're all like eat, leaf-eating creatures. And on the other side, it's different varieties of birds that they're kept together. There's a small owl, other things like this. You make your way inside. All right. You go to lift the handle, and the handle shapes into a face that looks down at you and says, "Will you please close the gate before entering? We don't want any animals to get out."
Oh, I'm so sorry. And she'll go back and close the gate.
"Thank you very much. This message has been recorded." And it merges back into a door knocker as you reach up and grab the handle and open up the door. And as you do, kind of the stale stench of animal droppings and wood
Mhm.
shavings, and it kind of blasts your nostrils as soon as you enter. But then you see um, there are birds flying back and forth on the rafters up above, and there's um, there's a monkey that swings back and forth from these rings. There's owls that are perched on little bars that swing back and forth. They look like they're sleeping at the moment. And there's some more exotic creatures in cages up high. You can't quite see over the edge to see what's inside, but you can see there's twisted branches and leaves and twigs and like moss growing inside of them. There's other uh, cases made out of glass that are filled with water, and you see little fish swimming back and forth inside. It looks like a pet store.
It's a pet store, oh my god! Is there an attendant?
You do not see an attendant readily available, but you do see other patrons on the inside walking back and forth from case to case. One of them is a tiefling gentleman with a little tiefling girl on his shoulders that looks in the case and he says, "Hey, look at that one! Look at that one!"
Are they looking at?
You're not sure. It's pretty high up.
Ah, damn it.
It looks like there's one case that's stacked on top of another. In the lower one, there's a little snake that slithers back and forth between some little leaves and uh, pieces of moss on rocks and stuff that are inside the cage.
She'll just like look around for the different pets. She's looking for a couple things.
Mhm.
First off, she's looking to see if there's any like fire snake or fire salamander feed specifically.
Okay.
Secondly, she's looking to see if there's any aquatic creatures, if there's any like fish or like sea monkeys or anything like that.
Okay.
And third, she's looking for any sort of like magically endowed or otherwise strange and fabulous creatures.
Okay. As you walk around, mostly what you see are small rodents, rats and mice. You see there are snakes. There are um, there are various kinds of birds and owls. You can also see there are some more exotic looking birds of prey that are in cages by themselves. They have like
Ugh.
blinder hoods on. Uh, and it looks like there are ropes tied around their ankles that are connected to the back of the cage. You can see there is a monkey, which you've never seen a monkey in person before, but it swings from some of the branches that are actually in the ceiling itself. It looks like there's a canopy. Part of it is caged off, and the other part is just open, and the monkey's in the open part. You think maybe
Hmm.
this monkey never tries to leave; it's just kind of hanging out in the store. Um,
Hmm.
you see, towards one side of the shop, there's a wall with glass containers that are filled with water, and they have fish swimming back and forth. One of them has an eel inside, um, but they're all pretty common creatures. Other than
Okay.
some of the more exotic birds of prey and the monkey, you don't really see anything of note. There's frogs. There's uh, any manner of amphibious and aquatic creature that's pretty normal. Snakes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
frogs and toads and um, you see there is one salamander that looks like it's a desert type creature that is in one of the warmer cages that has some artificial or magical light that glows inside of it to generate heat. You do see there is some food in jars near a counter. There's no one
Mhm.
currently manning the counter, and there's a bell on top of the counter.
She'd like to gently tap the bell.
When you ding the bell, all of the animals kind of go off, and some of them, you hear them swing back into their cages and hide and stuff. And the little girl like looks around at all the animals. Daddy, what's happening? And you hear a voice from the back say, "Oh, one moment, trimming the nails on this blink dog. Give me 1 minute." You wait a minute. You wait a couple minutes, and then you hear a clank on a table and as a man pushes the curtain aside and walks out and looks over the counter and he says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Hello, you have a wonderful shop. It is
Oh,
just
thank you
absolutely
very
wonderful.
much. Yes, I am proud of my collection of familiars and creatures and pets. Is there something you're looking for today, or do you want some one of my services for a pet you already own?
Kind of. My first question, if you have a minute,
Sure.
is you said something about a blink dog. Do you have blink dogs for sale?
I do not currently, but there is a merchant that has brought its blink dog in for a trimming. It looks like
Oh,
it's been
thank
out
you.
at sea for quite some time, a little bit shaggy. I'm trimming
Okay.
its nails right now. It's quite an endeavor. Keeps blinking back into the back of the room every time I try to cut one of its nails.
Does sound rather difficult. Do you need its hand?
No, it's okay. It's taken me the better part of a day to get one paw. Working on the second one now.
Okay. Um, do you have any other sort of magical or otherwise fey or unusual creatures?
I don't know about unusual. I have some fey creatures. Yes, there is a fey crow. I also have a fey that's particular to its owl form. I have one fey cat as well. Um, they're not currently bound to anyone, but I do have a binding ritual that I can do for a small fee if you would like a familiar. But the means to call it back, you would have to uh, buy a spell tome or some sort of a scroll to learn the spell that it requires to uh, give it more than simple commands and call it back into existence. Unfortunately, these pesky things, once they die, they go back to the Fey realm.
That's fine. That's fine. Um, okay. Um, um, next question.
Sure.
Um, how much? Well, I don't want to ask you just how much for everything. While I was walking around, were there prices posted for the different things?
No, it looks like everything is pretty much just ask.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um, how much for your fey creatures? The fey crow, the fey owl, and the fey cat.
Let's see. The cat would run you about 9,000 gold pieces. That would come with a binding ritual that would allow you to give it basic commands. You'd have to go further than that if you wanted to call it back to yourself. Um, the owl would run you. Let's see here. Be 7,000 gold pieces, and the crow would be 3,000 gold pieces.
Okay, 3,000.
Yes, that's correct.
Lovely. Um, and how much for the? Well, frankly, I'm searching for a gift potentially for a friend of mine
Hmm.
who's she's a sailor and she's a chef and she's
Chef.
a Triton.
Oh,
So she's from
Triton.
the water. Yes,
Yes,
and
very, very rare race of people to find their way onto Liberty. They haven't been here in hundreds of years for the most part.
yeah,
Fairly
and,
rarely venture onto land. It's surprising.
and I know she's looking for a pet or familiar. Do
Mm.
you have any
Well, do you know much
recommendations?
about Tritons?
Not really. I know they're kind of like fish people. They
Well,
can breathe water and swim and stuff.
their habitat tends to be underwater. I've met one Triton gentleman in my time here at this shop, and he wasn't very keen about us keeping aquatic creatures in cages. In
Oh,
fact, he threatened me, and I had to call the guard on him.
yeah.
So be very careful before giving a Triton an aquatic as a pet.
Mm.
Might not be very keen on the idea. Um, but this friend of yours, are they looking for a pet or familiar?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Interesting. Maybe a different brand of Triton that I've not encountered before, but
Yeah.
from my knowledge of them, they would never go for the idea.
Oh, okay, that's
But
fine.
if you're sure, I would love to sell you one. I just don't want an angry Triton in my shop again.
Sure, of course. Well, and I was just more asking around at the moment. I'm not really sure. I'm able to make a purchase like that right
Okay.
now, but
Well, what sort of creature would she
um,
be wanting to own?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she would prefer some kind of raptor type of bird creature or something that can swim. Perhaps maybe like something that can swim and something that can be on land.
Hmm,
Um,
an amphibious creature, perhaps?
perhaps, yeah.
Okay. Or maybe one of the types of underwater birds that frequent the colder regions, like up in Auburg. Something like
Ooh,
that
maybe.
might suit her. Um, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Is she from an area that is a colder or warmer climate? Most tritons tend to be from the southerly regions, so more of a temperate to tropical climate.
I don't know. But you know what? Tell you what. Why don't I take your name and I will let her know about your shop, and maybe we'll come back together and we'll find something.
Sure. My name is Jeffrey Gibbons. Jeffrey Gibbons. My shop here is called Fantastic Familiars. The address is building number 16, Gold District.
Hmm.
Send me a post if you need. I can receive messages as well and send message. And I do have a familiar that works for the shop. In fact, I've probably seen him swinging from the ceiling. Let me see if I can. Simeon! Simeon! He reaches under the counter and pulls out a little piece of cheese and holds it out. Simeon, please. And you see the monkey crawl down the vines in the corner and jump up onto the counter. And he stands there and grabs the piece of cheese and munches it down. Yes, Simeon, this is. What was your name again?
Lindel.
This is Lindel, and Lindel here is a customer of the store. Lindell, if you'd like to give Simeon your address, could perhaps pick up a message or deliver a message. Uh, are you able to magically cast messages?
Yes, I can cast sending.
Okay, yeah, I can receive a sending message, and then I could have Simeon here meet you out in public, or pick up, a fee, anything like that. So, Simeon, this is Lindell, Simeon. Very good. Thank you, Simeon. You can go back to playing. He goes back over and climbs up on the ceiling. So I have my own familiar that can do tasks for me and goes out into Gold District and beyond. Do you live here in Gold District?
Yes, we live just down the way.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah. So that's lovely. Well, I will, if either we will come by or I will send you a message if we're interested in purchasing something.
Okay, very good. Do you have a familiar yourself? Are you a caster?
Well, kind of. I'm a cleric. So
Ah,
I don't have a familiar to say, but this
cleric. Do you work for the Temple of SE1 by any chance?
oh no.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Most of the clerics in Gold District seem to work at or they're patrons of temples of Temple of SE1 or the Desert Huntress herself. Sorry, thought maybe you had some kind of affiliation.
That's okay. Have you ever heard of Malleus the Spriggan?
Oh yes, of course. Yes, worshippers of Malleus frequent this side of Gold District. In fact, more in
Mm-hmm.
numbers than anywhere else on Liberty.
Yeah. So I'm not one for the arcane arts with I do have a wizard friend. She says something about this familiar. There's a familiar spell or something like that.
Mhm.
And she can like pop. She has this hawk or eagle or something that she can like poof in and out of existence.
Yes,
Um,
she must be a wizard of some sort.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's a wizard spell, very common arcane spell for lower level wizards, and they're able to conjure a creature into existence with a small ritual. Um, we do sell spell books for you to be able to learn that ritual, but they're very rare. I only have one left currently, so it fetches a pretty price. But if you already have a wizard friend with a familiar, uh, you would probably know they don't need to eat or sleep. So,
Mhm.
I mean, would you be interested in that kind of thing, or do you already have your own fine?
I mean, I'm not sure if Malleus approves of learning that kind of spell or not.
Oh, sure he does.
Um,
Malleus himself, a Spriggan, calls creatures to his aid in battle. Uh, he's been known to, uh, in lore, I guess, if you want to go back into the pantheon of the founders. The Spriggan is a creature that always calls its other woodland companions to its aid, whether by
lovely.
magical means or through coercion. So yeah, he's known to take on a few helpers of his own.
Yeah. So speaking of which, and she'll take like Kuma out from inside of her hood. and she'll just have him sit in her hand, and she'll be like, "This is my friend Kumo.
Oh, look
He's
at
a
that, an
spider.
arachnid. Oh, that is wonderful.
He brought me the symbol of the Spriggan. I can't talk to him telepathically or make him poof in and out like our wizard friend can with her familiar. But he hangs out with me and he likes treats.
I see.
And he sits on my shoulder.
Ah, one moment. He leans under the counter again and brings out a little vial and taps something dry and black from the inside of the vial into his hand. And he holds it out to Kumo. It looks like it's a long dead, crispy mosquito.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he'll take the treats.
Does he have to roll an animal handling roll?
I don't know how much what's the word? Uh, control personality you want me to have of Kumo. But if it's me controlling Kumo, I would say Kumo he would happily just take the treats and like he's
Okay,
he's not he's not the kind of spider that would like bite someone that offers him a dead fly.
sure. Yeah, Kumo's more for like reconnaissance and like visuals and getting into small places and stuff like that. So I would say Kumo probably with its intelligence being pretty low,
Yeah,
would probably just take the food. Uh,
yeah, exactly. Like he and like I can't even really use him for reconnaissance because I can't like see through
he
his eyes or
did
anything
roll a
like that.
very
So
low animal handling check, however, so
okay.
he just quickly brushes it off before the spider can get in his hand. He's like, oh, I doubt it's kind of odd for me. I know I'm a pet store owner, but arachnids kind of freak me out a little. But he's wonderful. Nice to meet you, little Kumo.
Uh, Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure he'll enjoy the treats. That's very kind of you. Thanks.
Dried mosquitoes, they're very cheap. One copper for a vial of 50.
Can I buy a vial?
Sure. Do you have your own vial to put it in, or would you like to buy the vial as well?
I'll buy the vial as well while I'm at it.
All right, 2 copper pieces. How many would you like?
How many vials or how many?
How many vials?
I'll just buy one.
Just one. Okay. So you get a glass vial with a cork and 50 mosquitoes for 2 copper
Oh,
pieces. So mark off 2 copper pieces, and there you go. Kumo food.
yay!
They're great for long sea
Cool.
voyages or trips underground, places where you can't get back up to the surface or easily access fresh water.
Yeah, he usually picks up his own food pretty well, but it's good to have.
Out at sea, you never know. You could get trapped in a devil whirl or out in a rough halcyon patch where you can't get wind for ages. It can be rather difficult to find that kind of food.
That's fair.
I hear lots of
You know
sailing
something that I
stories
don't know.
all the time. What's that?
You know something I don't know about if I'm going to be on a ship or not.
What are you saying?
I don't know. Uh, uh, I
It's
think I
very
maybe
odd.
just.
No, I don't know anything about you, really. I just met you.
Hey, that's fine. I'm sorry. Sometimes um, we've had a couple of very odd experiences lately. So um, you know, you've been very kind, and I'm very sure I'll bring back my friend, and we will find a familiar for her.
Well, thank you for
You
the two
don't know.
copper. I guess I'll get back to my work trimming up this blink dog.
You don't know by chance. Is there any way to like establish like a telepathic connection with a real with like if I were to want to try to establish a telepathic connection with like say Kumo or something, he's a real beast. He's not a fake creature. Is there any way to do that?
That would be a question for someone at the temple. They have very high level druids at the temple. I'm not sure if you're a druid or not, but if you're
Nope.
interested, maybe they could provide some insight over at the temple.
Ah, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for
Have a
coming
great
in.
day.
He goes back into the curtain and pushes his way in and says, "All right, Blink Dog, it's just you and me now." And you hear the clippers go shink shink in his hand. Um, the
No
birds kind of
problem.
squawk a little bit, and you make your way out of the uh, Fantastic Familiars out into the street.
Hello.
The sun's gone down a little bit. It's probably been about 45 minutes. You can see the light is becoming a little bit more orange as it uh, illuminates Platinum District and a little bit of the Electric Ridge creeping downward, casting an angled shadow into the tunnel.
All right, she's got to hurry.
Okay,
But
you
moving
make
on.
your way past building number 17. It's a very tall, many windowed structure with small balconies on each of the maybe 50 or so windows that this building has on it, and it wraps around into the stairwell between Gold and Platinum District. Um, you can see some nice merchants dressed in very fancy clothes, walking back and forth. Some lovers hand in hand. People that look like they're either stopped at port or vacationing. Um, it looks like some kind of a hotel with a cafe on the bottom floor. It's called the Reserve Inn and Tavern. It has very kind of tall puffball on puffball shaped hedges and planters outside, and some metallic tables and chairs set up with people sipping drinks. And there's a main entrance where people in very fancy clothing walk in and out. You can see there's lights on, electric lights on in the windows that go up 3 stories high around this very large building, um, and yeah, just looks like a hotel uh, made out of white marble.
Cool.
All right,
Keep
moving on.
going.
All right, there's an angled walkway that goes back into the cavern, and along it you can see the tall structure of the rest of the hotel. Um, and on the other side, it looks like there's a sharp cornered building, um, and this one is more like Greek style construction with like columns and pillars and square windows. You can't see inside of it, but it looks like some kind of a city building. Similar kind of construction to the Chamber of Commerce in Silver District, but a little bit fancier.
Mhm. Does it
You're
have
not
a
sure
title or
what
sign
this
at all?
building is. No, it doesn't have any kind of title on it. Uh, it's got kind of a wide stairwell with
Mhm.
long but short steps that lead up to the like post and lintel columned doorway. Heavy wooden doors that are carved ornately around this kind of stone pillar like structure that holds up uh, the tunnels that go into the stairwell.
And do I know anything about the what's beyond what number 3 stairwell is?
Number 3 is another spiraled stairwell. It just goes up to level 3. You can see people heading in and out of there, kind of traveling upward to the upper levels. Okay. You can see the entrance now across the harbor to the Electrum Bridge. It's lined with light posts on either side. Every maybe 10 feet or so, there's a tall lamp post. The lamp posts are illuminated. Uh, they're made out of like a dark metal, and there's a nice kind of smooth marble tiled walkway that leads up and over across it in these like arched railings on either side. Um, some people are standing against the railing, talking, looking over the edge. People are walking back and forth across. The crowd's pretty heavy here. Lots of foot traffic back and forth. And before you go onto the bridge, there's another corner building there.
Hmm.
Before you get to kind of um, the gate area that leads into Platinum District, there's one more building on the edge, and it looks like there are guards standing around posted at all the entrances. Similar kind of construction to building number 18, but
Mhm.
this one, unlike it, has no windows. It does have entrances to it, and you see soldiers entering and leaving.
Okay.
You see a couple walk out of the door and talk to the guards on either side of the door really quickly. They nod at each other and then they change positions. The guards that were standing there walk inside, and the new set of guards takes their posts on either side, like a changing
Hmm.
of.
Okay.
Where to?
Across the bridge.
All right, so you walk up and over the bridge. It's a very steep climb, and it looks like it's ramped on either side, except in the center there's a stairwell that climbs pretty high up. You can see there's a couple of dwarven workers that actually kind of jump up onto their cart and ride it down the ramped part next to the stairwells. There's another worker on the other side that's moving a cart filled with like boxes and crates, and he struggles to push it up the ramp on the opposite side. And you make your way up to the top, to the peak of the bridge. Looking over, you can see the sunset in the distance beyond Platinum District, the wide open sea, a couple of ships dotted on the distance. They're sailing inward. There's another ship passing underneath the bridge. Uh, you can see the tops of its masts and the little lookout bucket. There's a guy in one of them, and he looks up and whistles at a woman that's walking across the bridge, and cat calls her, and she flips him the bird as they walk back down. Yeah, you make your way back down, and on the other side, you can see the familiar buildings that are near Do It Dwarven.
Hmm.
A couple of buildings on either side across the dock that are butted up against the cavern wall, with tunnels leading inward toward another stairwell that you know is the lift that Cat Colchester helped build. Um, and on either side, buildings number 33 and 34. Um, 33 is very interestingly shaped. It's a wooden building. Um, it's like wooden slatted on the outside, and it only has one grand entrance in the front. And it says it's like a booth set up next to the
Hmm.
door with a glass window, and the curtains are drawn across the glass window. It looks like almost like a teller or ticket window. And there's a sign above it that says the Thespian.
The thespian.
Thespian. Thespian.
Okay.
But it looks like it's closed up. Maybe it's a nighttime venue type thing.
Hmm.
On the other side, there is a very opulently designed building. It kind of has the same feel as the city buildings on the other side of the bridge. This one's tall and narrow, and it actually has some gold filigree that's worked into the frames around the windows and on the door and door handle. And there is a sign over the top that is shaped like a coin purse, and it says, "What does it say on it?" This is 34. The Blood Oaks Exchange.
Ooh.
So the coin purse shaped sign has two golden oak trees on it,
Oh, okay.
and the golden oak tree behind them it's painted red, and then the words Blood Oaks Exchange.
That's rather menacing. Blood oak. An exchange. Um, would this be the, as best Lindel can understand, the D&D equivalent of a bank?
Yeah, maybe a bank, or maybe if there's different currencies on different islands, they might change out. Or
Okay.
like the older system of currency is called a jubilee. Um,
Hmm.
before they gave way to the gold, copper, platinum, silver ex- uh, currency, there was an older
Right.
kind of currency that you've seen occasionally on Liberty called a
Okay.
jubilee. And actually, wanted posters for criminals are still the rewards are still listed in jubilee.
Hmm.
This is older type of currency. And you suspect that this is one of the places where you can change out that currency.
And, okay,
Or like
cool.
break a gold into silver or whatever else.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's one of her errands that she wants to get done. So
Okay.
she will mental note that place. Just before we go to 32, does Lindell know number 4, the lift?
Mhm.
What levels does the lift go to?
There is a stairwell that surrounds it, but the lift does not have an entrance to it from
Okay.
outside the stairwell. It looks like there's a
Mhm.
hatch on the inside of this large caged column with stairwells leading up around it. So it looks like pedestrians and foot traffic mostly just use uh, the stairwell, but
Mhm.
the lift itself is off limits to public.
Okay. And the stairwell leads to level 3?
Yeah, stairwell goes up to level 3.
Building number 32.
All right, 32. So you walk up and look at the cage and the elevator and look up it. You can see up level after level after level into the heart of uh, the plateau, which is really cool.
Mhm.
And you make your way back around the Thespian building. And number 32 is a um, glass-fronted building built into the stone, and it's got very long, sweeping glass windows with mannequins, and each mannequin is dressed in a different style of clothing. You can see some are dressed in robes, some are dressed in like adventuring gear. Other ones have like big fluffy merchant robes. Some of them are like bear skin and hide based. There's some leather outfits. Others are just like heavily patterned clothing. You see some modest clothing as well, just like lounging about clothing. Others are for like shipgoers, and you see one that's got this really opulent like captain's outfit with a hat with a huge feather in it, high collars and buttons, and uh, all sorts of cool little outfits for different races of people, different socioeconomic classes. Some is workwear, uh, some is just like loungewear and underclothes. And there is an entrance on two sides of the building, on the long side and on the curved side around the corner as well.
Is there a sign?
Yes, there's a sign on the harbor side, and it's uh, a knitting needle and a sewing needle with a thread that are crossed in an X, and underneath it says reams and seams.
Oh,
Keep
she's
going.
not much for clothes shopping, so yep, keep going.
Okay. Building number 31. It looks like there is a smaller version of Do It Dwarven, and it's called the Liberty Express, and it has a picture of a ship on the outside. But rather than moving cargo onto the dock and to like residents in Liberty, it looks like this one is mainly for sea shipments from island to island. Uh, and you can see some people that are wheeling crates up onto ships that are parked in the harbor. Um, there's some merchants that are doing business outside the doors. But this building is called the Liberty Express. As you walk past, you see there's a couple young men that sprint across the docks and quickly enter into the Liberty Express. And as the door opens, you can see they bump shoulders with another boy that runs out of the building and books it hightailing double speed up over the Electrum Bridge and off into out of eye shot. All of them are clutching tubes in their hands.
Tubes? What kind of tubes?
Looks like a leather tube of some sort. Roll a perception check for me.
Hmm.
You want to stop and watch him for a little bit?
Yeah, for a minute.
Okay. Seems like every 30 seconds to a minute and a half, a different boy runs up and rushes in, and a different boy exits out and rushes off. It's
8.
kind of hard to tell what they're holding. It looks like just a leather tube of some sort.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll move on.
Okay. On to the next building is this one you've seen before. It's a very large warehouse building with two huge double doors. There's podiums on either side of the doors with dwarfs that sit up in them. They've got long reams of parchment that they're scribbling onto and yelling down to workers that are wearing overalls, the blue and gray overalls with the DID logo on them.
Mhm.
And all of them seem to be dwarves of different ages, wheeling carts and moving crates. There's a couple of them that have crates that are suspended from ropes that they're moving on these pulleys back and forth. And they're shouting from the entrances, "No, no, no! That one goes on the ship on the other side of the dock. No, this one we need to check in. Yes, that's all right. There's 2 reams of cotton. Okay." And they're like shouting off the contents of them and checking them off of lists. It's busy moving back and forth.
Yeah.
On the other side, number 29 is the actual business Do It Dwarven. You can see there are people going into the shop. Other people are carrying out empty wooden crates to use for their own purposes. Some people are saying, "No, I need it moved to the house on level number 2. It needs to be delivered in 2 days' time. And make sure not to tell anyone. This one's a secret, okay? It's a present for my wife." Things like that. That kind of business going on.
Right.
Past that is a boat ramp that leads down into the harbor. It's also got those railroad type ties that lead up and uh, cut across the harbor into the warehouse. They actually hug the wall in front of Do It Dwarven and the warehouse, and then they turn into the warehouse. And it looks like there's a wheel in the harbor with a lever that turns so that they can send the carts and things that are like actually on the rails to different parts of the warehouse.
Cool.
Um, Building 28 is the Flatland Brewhouse. You're very familiar with this. You see the
Mhm.
familiar balcony window that you crawled out of, the the box that Foretellers stood on top of day after day, singing you guys to into madness. Um, you pass
Get
the
some
place where
shivers.
a little bit of PTSD shivers.
Yeah.
You see the boardwalk where the booths were set up for the festival, where you guys won the games, where the original brew was the miracle ale that you guys drank, where that was set up, where you guys wearily walked out of the temple that night after fighting all of those otherworldly creatures. Where Leomander and Legend had carried uh, what's his face Gallant's body from the sewer and then up to the temple for healing. You see some people in SE1 temple robes walking back and forth. A couple of them look at you and tilt their heads a little bit and then nod in recognition uh, of what you guys did. You see
Mhm.
the entrance to the alleyway where there was the sewer entrance. You see a couple of guards are still posted nearby that entrance, just
Hmm.
standing guard. Um, you walk past the entrance of the flatland, and there's some merchants and patrons walking in and out, just normal hotel fare. Uh,
Mhm.
Past that is the harbor master building called the Gold Port Harbor Master. Um, it's just people, if they want to park their boats and ships in the harbor, they have to go and register them with the harbor master. They pretty much control the dock area, and all
Mhm.
commerce in and out of the dock has to be signed and notarized and approved by the harbor master. Um,
Ugh, paperwork.
I know, more paperwork.
Mhm.
Past that is the tall, narrow building that you recognize as Fantastic Filigree.
Yay! Inside.
All right, you head inside. You see the familiar counters on either side with the three curtained, half-round areas that are labeled on either side with all of the magical items that they have for sale. As you walk in, a couple of dwarves peek their head out of the curtains and say, "Ah, yes, hello, customer. One moment, please." And they eventually make their way out of the curtains, brushing themselves off, and walk down over the counter, looking down at you, and they say, it's nice to see a familiar face. I can't remember your name. You were just in here a while back. Nice to see you again."
Hi, Lindel is my name.
Lindel, yes, of course. And
Hmm.
we are... One moment.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
I'm Galmir, and this is my sister, Graham Breck. Nice to see you again.
See you. Do you have any magical items available?
Oh, well, of course. That's what we specialize in. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for? We have... One moment as I flip to that page. Fantastic filigree. Aha, yes. Right here on my side, this is, Gelmir's side. We have 3 curtains. The first one is for armor, second one is for wondrous items, last one is for mundane items. And Grambreck, on your side? Yes. Over here we have the fantastic items, here in the back. In the middle is potions, and on the end here are magical weapons. What can we interest you in?
I don't really need. Wow, actually, what do I recommend? Do you have any magical shields by chance?
Magical shield. That wouldn't be on my side, Galmir. Do you have any magical shields currently? He walks over to the curtain and says, "Well, let's take a look." And he pulls the curtain aside. And
Behind curtain number
inside,
1.
curtain number 1. You can see there is on the top shelf there is a helmet. It looks like a kind of a skull cap with a nose guard and flaps on the side that come down. Just a normal looking helmet. On the middle shelf, let me get my magical item table and see what they have replenished. It's been maybe a few days since you guys have been here, so they wouldn't have much different from the last time. They will have some stuff. Didn't work.
Last time I know you guys had a sentinel shield, but even just like a +1 basic magical shield would be lovely.
Let's see if they get anything. All right, shield. Let's see here. You'll also notice that there is a breastplate on the center shelf, kind of propped up on a block of wood with a base. You see arm. There is a... I'm not sure what this is. There's another full suit of armor on a mannequin on the bottom shelf that looks like it has a full suit of splint armor. And that's it. Just those 3.
No shields, eh? That's alright.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any shields at the moment. Is there a particular item you're looking for?
Well, yeah, I'm just looking for a magical shield that might increase my defenses a bit.
I see. Well, we don't have anything at the moment, but if we do, perhaps we could contact you.
Yes. Would you ever so mind? That would be lovely.
Well, I'll tell you what. We have these special items that we just made. If you'd like to be on call, it's a cost. I know it's a little bit high. It's a cost of 5 gold pieces for a one-use sending stone directly to our shop.
I'll take it. Yeah, there's a number of
Okay.
things I'm looking for actually.
All
So
right.
can I be put on call for multiple items?
Yes, that's no problem. Just 5 gold pieces for the other half of the sending stone, and please make sure to contact us only during daylight hours, as when we're at night, we wouldn't want you to use your single-use sending stone if no one was available to hear it. But we can provide that single-use sending stone for 5 gold pieces, and it also comes with a guarantee first come first serve hold on that item that lasts
Ooh.
30 days.
Need,
So what we'll do, we'll make a
Um,
list on this piece of parchment of items you're requesting, looking for. You use your sending stone, you contact us, or we will contact you of its availability. And after that one use, if we get verbal confirmation, we will set that item aside with your list and the sending stone for you to pick up within 30 days. Otherwise, it goes back into our inventory.
yeah, if you wouldn't mind adding a magical shield to that list.
Sure. We will add any magical shields that come across. This will, of course, use your one use on the sending stone, but if there's any other items available on the list at that time, we will contact you on those as well.
Can you tell me a bit about that breastplate there?
Yes, the breastplate in the center. This one. Oh, look at that! It's actually just mundane at the moment. It's just a breastplate, but it is a blank that can be enchanted.
Okay, that's right.
We sometimes keep
Something else.
those items in stock as well, in case there is a specific enchantment you're looking for.
No, that makes sense. But I guess as well, when I'm at it, if any magical studded leather armor would be lovely as well.
Let's see here. Studded leather. Doesn't look like we have any studded leather in at the moment. Just the splint armor here.
No, that's all right. But if it comes up, if you wouldn't mind adding it to the list.
All right. So, item number 1, and please tell me if there's a priority on these. That way, we don't use the one use sending stone by accident on an item that you're not as interested in.
That's all right.
Okay.
Either or is good.
First, you're looking for any kind of magic shield.
Mhm.
Second, you're looking for a was it a splint or was it what kind of armor?
Studded leather.
Studded leather.
Hmm.
Enchanted as well or mundane?
Enchanted, of course. I'm actually wearing normal mundane studded leather right now.
I see that. All right, wonderful. So magic shield, studded leather armor with enchantment. Anything else?
Do you have any sort of carrying devices? I've heard of a bag of holding or perhaps
Yes. Let's see
have
here.
a
I
sack
believe
or
one of
something,
yours
I
actually bought one of our pouches of holding last time they were in. Little fellow made of wood, kind of weird glowing.
Yes, that's our tree person. His name's Xavier.
Yes, Xavier, of course. He bought our pouch of holding last time he was in. He was looking at this one here on the second curtain. He opens up the wondrous item curtain, and inside on the second shelf, there is a haversack. He pulls it down. Yes, this is a handy haversack. 2 foot by 2 foot. Would you be interested in this?
How much does it cost?
450 gold pieces.
Okay. Why don't you put that on the counter for things that we're thinking of? There's a couple other things that I might be interested in as well.
All right, so the handy haversack. Anything else?
What else is in that wondrous items area?
There is a very strange cloth hat on a little mannequin head at the top. This hat here is it's what's called a hat of wizardry.
Well, I'm not a wizard. That probably won't do for me.
Very well.
Any? I guess there's no other wondrous items.
Yes, there is a cloak.
Cloak.
Mm. Ah, yes, this cloak. It's called the Cloak of the Bat.
Hey, about that.
Ah, the Cloak of the Bat. Let's see here. He pulls out a little book from below the counter, and it's labeled D&D Beyond. Let's see here. Magic item. There we go. Magic items. All right, the Cloak of the Bat. So while wearing the cloak, it makes you a little bit sneakier. If you're in dim light or darkness, you can use the cloak, you can grip it, and you can actually fly. But if you're in direct light, or if it's light out, or if there's a bright light, you'll fall. So it has to be done in dim light or complete darkness. If you don't grip the cloak firmly, you'll probably fall as well. But it allows you to fly from a perch. Let's see. You can also change yourself into a bat using the cloak. But you can only do it, I believe, once per day.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I can already turn myself into a bat.
All right.
Do you have any other just
That's
unique
all we
or
have on the wonders.
interesting items?
Unique
like,
or interesting? Well, this is. Let's see. Well, we have that helm I showed you earlier. Lets you breathe underwater. That's pretty useful. We also have this pole here. Here, grip it for me. And he actually, that's on your side, Grambrak, if you wouldn't mind. Ah, yes, dearie, down here. She opens up the fantastic curtain, shing, and pulls out a little pole with like a leather grip, and she hands it down to you. Just press on it. Grip the handle firmly and point it away from yourself.
Point it away from myself.
You grip the handling, and as soon as you grip it, it telescopes out, and there are rings on the pole, and there is a little piece of like almost invisible line and a hook on the end. This is called the Pole of England. Collapsible fishing pole.
Oh, cool.
If you grip the handle again, it'll telescope back in.
Squeeze it again.
And goes back in.
Ooh, that's cool.
It's a handy little thing for when you're out on the sea. Next up, we have this here rope. She grabs it over her shoulder and throws it onto the floor. And then she claps her hands, and the rope unspindles and reaches up to the ceiling.
Ooh.
It's called a rope of climbing. She claps her hands again, and it coils back down onto the floor. We have this. We have this pouch here. If it's full with something called Heward's Handy Spice, it makes good meals. So if you're out on the sea, you can help with cooking.
Okay.
Let's see, Heward's Handy Spice Pouch. It has 10 charges. While holding the pouch, you can use an action and speak the name of any non-magical food seasoning and remove a pinch, and you have the desired seasoning. And it regains charges at dawn.
Cool.
Helps you make meals. All right. What else we got here? That's pretty much it for our fantastic items. Otherwise, we've got some healing potions in stock. Not too many. They're almost all gone. And then we have this thing called an efficient quiver that gives you bolts and arrows. And then this other hand axe right here. We got a +1 hand axe. That's pretty much all of the items we have in stock right now. I've had a lot of people in and out buying lots of items recently, especially your crew. Done near cleaned us out.
Yeah, that's fair. I have someone in mind for the pole of angling and the pouch of Howard's handy spice.
All right.
Has there's one of my teammates. Her name is Saf Keen. Has she been in here at all lately?
I don't recall the name. Could have been one of our brothers or sisters that helped them out.
Okay. How much is the pole of angling and the pouch of spice?
Hewart's handy spice pouch is 50 gold pieces. Pole of angling is 250 gold pieces.
And how much for the helmet of underwater breathing?
Helm of underwater breathing will set you back a little bit more. This one's 1,000 gold pieces.
Alrighty. You know what? I think actually I'll just take the haversack for now, if you don't mind.
Handy haversack. All right, that'll be 450 gold
Yeah.
pieces, please. And actually, throw in another 5, and we'll give you the sending stone. We'll let you know if we get a magical steel shield or the studded leather enchanted armor in.
Yeah, if you don't mind, that would be lovely.
All right, wonderful. And your name was Lindel, is that correct?
Yes, please.
Where can we find you, Lindel? Now, the sending stone will work anywhere in Spiralia, but the closer the better, since we only hold for 30 days.
Wait, what was the question?
Where do you stay these days?
We're staying at a place called or what's it called? The Colchester Estate?
Oh, y'all moved into the Colchester estate, did you?
Hmm.
Interesting stories I hear about that place.
Oh, what have you heard?
Oh, stories of it being haunted by spirits. Mysterious disappearance of the former owner. All sorts of gruesome stories about machines that she created that killed a bunch of miners. I think even her own husband. Woman went
Yeah.
mad or something. Thought maybe she hung herself in the house, or I don't know. I can't remember all the stories. Plenty of rumors about that place. Gives me the
Hmm.
willies.
Oh dear. But I mean, we haven't seen any sort of like rope hanging from the ceiling or anything disastrous like that. But we'll keep an eye out, I guess.
All right. Yes. Take care of yourself. And
Thank you.
of course, we will contact you if we find either of those
Yeah.
items.
You know,
You can contact us as well using the sending stone and at any time during
of
business
course.
hours.
And Galmi and Ganbreck, just a question for you. I do have some gems that I'm looking to sell.
Mm.
Would you happen to know where I could do that?
Yeah, I mean, we can always buy the gems here and enchant them, but you probably won't get as good a price as if you go to a jeweler. We do trade here as well, if you'd like to do
Hmm.
some trade. Really just depends on the gem. Would you like to use those to buy your haversack?
That's okay. Do you
Right.
know of a jeweler?
Well, if you're looking to buy, let's see here. Let me see. Checking the map, checking the map. There is a place near the Chamber of Commerce in Silver District. I believe there is a shop near the Lit Lantern Inn, if you're familiar with that. Right next door, there's a place called All Mine.
All mine.
I believe they deal in gemstones, minerals, and other precious stones.
Ooh. Near the what? Sorry, what was the other place? Near the
The Lit Lantern Inn.
Lantern Inn.
It's right near the stairwell, closest to the Silver Bridge.
Okay, I know where that is.
Very well.
Okay. I think that's it for today. Thank you so much.
Ah, you're very welcome. They close all the curtains and huff back in, and you take your handy haversack and your sending stone and make your way out. 455 gold pieces fewer.
Hmm. Okay.
All right.
Off to
Back out into the harbor
the
now.
place.
The sun is getting lower. the cold wind is starting to blow in, and a little bit of frost is forming on some of the dock areas as you shiver a little bit out into the cold wind, the evening afternoon sun of Gold District. You make your way past the rest of the fantastic filigree. Um, Next is building number 25, the Dragon Dice Parlor.
Ooh.
It looks not very busy right now. There's not a lot of not a whole lot of people there yet, but you do see a fair amount of heavy smoke billowing out. Heavy smells of tobacco pipes and some other more illicit smoking implements
Mm-hmm.
wafting out of the front entrance.
Going.
All right, you keep going down to building number 24. It's the bookstore of the Furbolg woman that you guys helped before.
All
It's
right.
Illustrious Illuminations, the other bookstore. Past it, building number 23. Um, there's barrels stacked up outside of this building. It's an older looking wooden structure. You can see that the architecture of Gold District is starting to get a little bit more working class and rustic. It's still very nicely kept, but this is one of the older buildings in the area, and it looks like it's a ship supply company um, called the Captain's Choice. And you can see there's tack barrels outside, like dry crackers, and um, there's a couple of barrels that have puddles underneath that have frost on the outside of them.
Mm.
You know that they they pack frozen barrels of fresh fruit to fight off scurvy um, that they keep in the bow of their ships. You see a couple of those outside that have thawed in the midday sun that are now starting to freeze back up again.
Cool.
Past Captain's Choice is a very large building on the corner there, and it has a large ship that looks very old, an older sailing vessel, and it's very strange. So the ship, it's parked on the dock. There's no one on it. It's got a what looks like a permanent gangplank that's built into the boardwalk that
Mm.
goes up onto the ship. And on the ship itself are all of these like straw mannequins in different positions on the ship. Like there's one at the captain's wheel, there's one up on the rigging, there's one on the deck, there's one uh, near the anchor, there's one up in the perch way up on top. There's another one that's like near the roping on the side. It's very strange. It's like, what the
Hmm.
hell is this? And then on the across from it, on the dock, building number 22, it's another one of these tall buildings, and it's got another big door that's slatted on the side. That's tall enough that it looks like a ship could be wheeled in and out of it. And it is labeled the Sailors Guild.
Mm.
Keep going.
Mhm.
Around the corner, you make your way to a little kind of rectangular structure. Um, It looks like there are barrels of fishing poles outside. There's a big like wooden hook that hangs over the door with a fake fish hanging from it, and it says the Bobbing Buoy.
It was 21.
That's building number 21. That's correct.
Bobbing buoy.
The Bobbing Buoy.
Keep going.
Keep going. Next building is another kind of older wooden structure, and on the outside, it's got a golden compass that's kind of embedded into the side of the facade, and an old wooden door below it, and it just says on a wooden sign that hangs above it that's kind of flapping in the breeze. The Abyss.
Oh, geez. That's creepy. Okay, keep going.
All right. Inside one of the windows, as you pass by into Silver District, you can see there are like astrolabes and nautical equipment
Mhm.
in a kind of shelf display in the window. So it looks like the
Ooh.
Abyss is for like finer instruments for sailing. All right. You want to go back into Silver District?
Yeah. Now,
All right.
I have a question about that, because there is a building 20 in Silver District. Is that the same as building 20 in Gold District?
No, they're across from one another. One is
Okay.
all the way up against the wall, like built into the facade of the cavern wall. The other
Hmm.
one is on the opposite side of the dock. Like it's a drop off to the water from this building.
Okay.
Um, but it obscures your view of the rest of the dock, and
Hmm.
it looks like there's these long rows that are canopied over of like these wooden tables almost that are kind of like there's a recess in all of the tables. There's benches set up and seating, and they're filled with ice.
Ooh.
Single one of these long tables is filled with ice, and it smells awful. It is the fishiest, nastiest smell you've ever smelled in your life. But there's a ship parked there right now, and there's a netting that's thrown up onto the dock next to these long tables, and there's men that are hauling fish, throwing them back and forth into these buckets of ice, filling up the lines with the last of the day's catch.
Hmm.
There's some
And this
people
is
like
number 20.
yes, there's people rummaging through it a little bit. Some of them are holding up fish and inspecting them. It's a fish market called Something Fishy. It looks like at the end of this dock, it actually comes to a stop, and the dock drops off into the water. But there's a pathway that leads into the cavern a little bit, where it's kind of like carved out, and there's a section
Hmm.
of the cavern with water all the way around it, where the dock kind of jetties out into it, and it looks like you can see in the water, it's clear enough that it looks like the bottom of the where the bottom of the harbor is angles down into a very deep section right here, where it's
Ooh.
like intentionally deeper than the rest of the channel. Um, you can see up above you too in the rock wall. There are all these cranes and ropes and levers and pulleys. There's nothing currently parked here, but it looks like this is a place where they might like dock and repair ships, um, like scrub the hulls of them, get all the, the what are those things called? Not clams,
Oh, the mollusks.
uh,
What are they called?
bracken, or what is that stuff
Uh,
called? The stuff
what
that
are they
crusts on the
called?
side of ships.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It starts with a B, doesn't it?
yeah, it's a BR
Uh,
word. I thought.
yeah. Not
Brexit.
oysters, not mussels, but
You know what I'm talking about, though. The really
yes.
like hard, crusty shell-like things that cling to the bottoms of ships that they have to scrape off. Um, but yeah, it looks like this is a repair dock called the Drowned Yard.
Drowned yards.
Mhm.
Number 22, drowned yard.
It leads into a little half semicircular dock area beyond that, and there's some smaller docks that kind of jut out from the cavern wall there. There's one ship that's parked there that you can see is looks like a faster type of ship. It's only a two-mast. It's very sleek and long, and on the side, painted in white letters, um, it says the Passenger Pigeon. Um, the building that's right across from it, another number 19. Um, you're not sure what it is. It's called Reelin' In. but it looks like it might be some kind of an old hotel tavern type thing where people stay. Maybe it's like a boarding house of some sort. But yeah, it's called Reelin' In. It does have more windows in the front of it than most other structures in Silver District, so it looks like there's rooms for rent. Beyond that, number 18, you smell the heavy stench of alcohol as you walk past. It's a little bit sweet to your nostrils. You see lots of barrels that are stacked up in the alleys on either side of building number 18. There's a sign out front that says the Marooner's Stash. And all of the barrels are stamped with rum. RUM. So a little bit of a rum store there. Let's see. Building number 17. There are 2 adjoined businesses, like sister businesses that are right there. The one that's closest to you is, it looks like an old barn, like half
Sorry,
of a
David.
barn that's.
Can you?
Yeah,
Sorry, David. 1 second.
Sorry,
Sure.
David.
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
They are actually married, though, right?
They're married. Yes.
Okay, well then I was starting to suggest myself.
Just text me those things. Sorry, I cut you off
No, it's okay.
mid-sentence there. Number 17.
Yeah, number 17, 2 sister businesses. The one closer to you is like half of an old like farmhouse barn that's built into
Mhm.
the side of the cave, and it's called the Big Barter Barn. And then next to it is another building that is square shaped and also made of wood. It's called the Heart and Anchor, and you can see in the window are posted these like parchments, um, and there's dozens of parchments in the windows of each on either side of the door, and it looks like they are like hard black designs that are made with ink. They're tattoos,
Ah,
tattoo designs. Beyond that
so,
is the Silver Bridge that arcs up over into the other half of Silver District. You can see
mhm.
here the buildings are becoming a little bit more, I wouldn't say rustic, but very old and very not repaired recently. More
Mhm.
like, like a sleepy fishing town type feel to it. And you
Right.
pass a big collapsed pile of rock over an old arched cavern. It
Mhm.
looks like it's an old mining cave, or maybe another failed tunnel that collapsed on itself, and now it's just a big pile of rubble. So there's 2 ways to go. You can go up across the bridge, or you can keep heading down Silver District into Copper.
Do I remember? She said to go the All Mine Jewelry Shop near the Lit Lantern Inn. I'm assuming Thomas thinks it's across the bridge.
Yeah, the way they described it, next to the Lint Lantern, you would know that the Chamber of Commerce is halfway up on top of the bridge, and then on the other
Right.
side of the bridge near the stairwell is where the Lit Lantern is.
Okay, yeah, so she'll head across the bridge.
All right. So as you head across the bridge, it's probably been about 2 hours now. As you crest up over the top past the Chamber of Commerce building, you look over the harbor and can see the signal tower and the Colchester Mansion behind it. And it looks like the windows of the Colchester Mansion are lit up,
Hmm.
unlike the 2 houses next to it. It
Right.
is now illuminated in a faint glow, which is an interesting backdrop to the setting sun way down at the end of the tunnel now. It looks like the daylight is only hitting the very edge of Platinum District. You can see a
Yeah.
little bit of a golden edge as the sun peaks down below the horizon.
It's like the equivalent of like 2 p.m. Sorry, 4 p.m. now, 5 p.m.
Yeah, it'd be like 4 to 4:30 p.m. where the sun gets really low in the wintertime.
Yeah, I guess.
So about like right now.
Perfect.
Yep. As you crest over the edge, we're probably going to have to stop there. I don't know
fair.
if I can. I want to stop with you looking over the balcony at the Colchester estate just in case. If something were to happen, that we could have you meet up with the rest of the group at this point. Because if you're like inside a store or something, then you wouldn't be able to. I think this would get us to about the point where other stuff would happen next time. And we can do a little hurry up role play the rest of the day kind of thing. If we need to get you caught up until after Safkeen's day out.
Yeah, because it's only if it's only like 4:30 p.m. like even 5, like she's still got lots that she wants to do today.
Right.
And stuff that she's potentially wants to do tomorrow as well. So
okay, let's go ahead and role play through the rest of the day then. I know you want to go to the gem shop.
yeah,
So at the gem shop, what are you looking for?
she just wants to sell off the sapphires that she stole.
All right, so you've got the eight sapphires, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to sell all 8 of them?
Yeah. So what she'll do is she will, in trying to get the best deal that she can, she will cast Enhance Ability on herself before
Okay.
she goes in,
Sure.
and she'll give herself Eagle's Splendor, which gives herself advantage on charisma checks.
All right. Great.
And yes, she will. I don't think she has any. There's no spells that use sapphires. It's always like diamonds or
Right.
rubies and things like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, they're only good for selling. Pretty
Exactly. So
much.
yeah, she'll sell them all off as best she can.
Okay. Yeah, you go in and the shopkeeper takes a look at your sapphires. They tell you that you get more for trade-in, and unless you just want gold for them. Which would you like to do?
In as in like,
If you use them for store credit for something that they already have.
oh, I see. And like, do they have diamonds and rubies and that kind of stuff?
Yes, they do.
Um,
So what exactly are you looking for?
so if I'm looking to buy gemstones, I've got
Mhm.
a decent shopping list that I sent you.
Right.
Do you want me to just give you the total dollar value, or
Let's see here. I've got you want diamonds worth 300 gold pieces, ruby dust worth 50 gold pieces, but at least 6 uses worth, so that's 300 again. 25, well, 75 total of incense.
but they don't?
They
Do they
they
sell
don't have
incense?
incense. They don't have
Right.
incense there.
Okay.
100 gold pieces of diamond dust. Let's see. Herbs, oils, and incense, which they don't have. A diamond, 500 gold pieces. 25 powdered silver. 25 gold pieces of powdered silver. But you wanted lots of that?
Yeah, a decent amount of that.
Okay, that pretty much be everything.
So that's
Let's see here.
what she'll do when she's totaling it up. Let's say she'll get 2 revivified diamonds, so that's 600 gold pieces, and let's say she'll get the ruby dust.
Okay, so
And
how much gold worth of ruby dust?
400 gold.
400.
So 8 uses.
Okay.
And then greater restoration. And then one single 500 gold piece diamond, because that's a decent purchase.
So the 600 gold was 2 300 gold ones?
It's 2 300 gold diamonds.
Okay.
It's diamonds, ruby dust, single diamond. Yes, and then she needs diamond dust specifically for greater restoration. So she'll get 500 gold worth of diamond dust. Which totals 2,000.
Dust. All right. Let me see here. So they only have one 300 gold diamond in stock. Let's see. Ruby dust. They have 600 gold worth of ruby dust. They have one 500 gold diamond. And they only have 100 gold worth of diamond dust.
Okay.
They would be willing to, let's see here. Let's see. You've got 8 of those sapphires. They would be willing to give you they would be willing to give you all of that for 2 sapphires.
Oh.
If you want to talk them down?
Yeah, because sapphires are like 2,000 gold, and that's only 1,500 gold total worth of value, right?
All right, so go ahead and do persuasion with advantage.
Yeah. One of them is 24.
24.
The other one's a natural 1, and I reroll natural 1s. So yeah, 24.
24. Very good. Yeah, that's enough. So they say, okay, well, for 2 sapphires, we'll do everything that we have here, and we will give you 400 gold pieces.
Deal.
Or 40 platinum, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get 300 gold worth of diamond, or one 300 gold worth diamond, 600 gold worth of ruby dust, one 500 gold diamond, and 100 gold worth of diamond dust, and then 400 gold pieces back. And mark off 2 of your sapphires.
Yes, and then if I were to sell the rest of the other 6 sapphires, how much?
If you want to sell 6 sapphires, they will give you. Hang on just a sec. Let's see. Oh, I dropped it. 4 times 2. They will give you 4,800 gold.
Come on, can't you give me a bit of a better deal than that? Pretty please. Blink, 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 blink.
Well, I guess if your spell's good enough, go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage again.
Pretty please. Blink, blink.
Yeah, so they're offering 4,800, and go ahead and do your haggling. 14.
Hey,
So 18? No.
20 is the best one.
20, that is the DC. So they say, okay, all right, we'll give you, let's see. So there's 6 sapphires, so that'd be 5,400 gold pieces.
Take it.
All right. So go ahead and add 5,400 gold and remove all your sapphires. So not a bad deal for
Yeah,
stealing from the
I
royal palace.
Yep, no, I'm glad I have a haversack to put all this gold in.
Yeah, right.
Okay, perfect. So that's that. And then she will a yes. Thing for she wanted to buy yes, she needs incense, herbs, and powdered silver.
The powdered
Um
silver. We'll say they threw that in too. How much
okay.
powdered silver did you want?
I don't know. Let's see, because I want to make it's 25 per vial of holy water. And she needs a bowl of holy water to cast the scrying spell. So I don't know, maybe let's
A
see,
vial
one.
of holy water? Is that what you said?
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
25. I would say it's probably 10 vials to fill a bowl. So that would be about 20. Wait,
150.
250 gold.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll say they threw that in.
so just included.
Just included. Yeah.
Yeah. So 250 gold worth of silver, powdered
Yep.
silver, and then I want an extra 200 gold worth of silver uses. Yes. So I want a total of 450 worth of powdered silver.
Worth of powdered silver. Mark off of that 400 gold they gave you back. Just mark off the remainder. So that would be what?
50 gold.
Is that right? 400? Wait, how much total powdered silver did you want?
I want total 450 powdered silver.
So that's another 200. So mark off 200 gold.
200 gold. Got it.
And then we're square.
And then I need to go buy incense and herbs.
All right, incense and herbs. Incense you can get. Alchemist
Assuming there was,
Anonymous.
yeah,
Alchemist
Alchemist
Anonymous
Anonymous.
would probably be the place if you want to start heading back.
Either that one, yeah, or Arcane Focus, one or the other.
Yeah.
So, but to cut the trip a little bit faster, because I don't think there's anything else on this side of the water. Lindel's gonna go to, let's see. Yeah, the fastest way is probably she'll go if she's already. What building number is the all mine?
Number 6.
All mine is number 6, and lit lantern is
Lit Lantern is number 5.
lit lantern is number 5. Okay, so then what she'll do, if that's number 6, oh yeah, perfect. So she'll go just to the edge of the water where the guard tower is, and she'll tap her staff on the ground and say, "I choose you, Trevor," and she'll toss him into the water
Mhm.
because he has a swim speed. He's not very fast, but he does have a swim speed. And she'll jump on his back and have him ferry her across to the other guard tower, so that then she can walk along that side to get to
All
the
right. There are ships
buildings
crossing
faster.
the harbor right now. So it'll be a skill check to see if Trevor can avoid the ships
Fair.
and the undertow from them. So you hop into the water on Trevor, and Trevor is surprisingly buoyant,
Mhm.
but there is a decent current from the ships that are crossing. We'll say there's 2 crossing right now. One of them is headed toward you, and the other one is right in front of you. So
Okay.
first, you'll have to either wait out until the ship passes, or try and go around the undertow.
She'll just wait.
Okay, so you hang out there. on Trevor for a moment. Do you want to be stealthy?
Yeah, if that's possible.
All right, go ahead and roll a stealth check. We'll see if maybe Trevor can keep below the water to stay out of view, and you can kind of blend in with the rocks.
Is this a stealth check for me or a stealth check for Trevor?
Just for you. It's a skill challenge. Good enough. You think you've stayed pretty much at the surface of the water, under the radar of the ship that's passing. Passes with a little bit of wake. You start to bob up and down in the wake as it starts to hit you. You see the other ship now coming towards you is blocking your view of the signal tower.
Can I say that again?
The ship passes without issue. No one seems to notice you, but there is a bit of a heavy wake as it passes. It starts to bob back and forth on top of Trevor. The ship that was coming toward you from the crossing is now completely obscuring your view of the signal tower. Would you like to
Fine.
move through the wake?
Yes.
All right, so go ahead and roll. Let's see here. I want you to do dexterity or animal handling.
My animal handling is +4 and my dexterity is +5, so I'll do dexterity.
Dexterity. You'll try and stay on Trevor as he swims through the wake.
And I reroll natural ones, thank God.
I don't know yet. You fall in the water. You slide right off of Trevor as he slinks forward. He's very slick, and you try to grip onto him, but he's wet too. And you slide, and eventually the tail, and you're gripping onto the tail. You're not completely in the water yet, but you're gripping onto the back of Trevor, trying to hold on as he slides into the wake. Go ahead and roll me one more animal handling if you want him to circle back and get you, or dexterity if you want to try and stay on as he moves forward.
Handling your dexterity. I don't know. Well, let's just go with dexterity again.
All right. Oh no!
Oh my God!
Roll again.
Come on, you can do this. Try again.
Natural 20.
Hey,
okay.
there we
You managed to
go.
go hand over hand, and you get back up onto the tail as Trevor slinks through the wake. But now this ship that is right in front of you is kind of blocking your way. You can go in front of it where it's moving. You can go behind it into the undertow, or you can stay put. But you notice out of your peripheral, there's another ship entering the crossing, headed your way.
Through the wake. Let's do it. Come on.
Through the wake. Okay, so you want to go through the wake behind the ship?
Behind the ship, yes.
All right. So there's going to be a little bit of an undertow. So again, animal handling or dexterity.
Okay.
They'll have different outcomes.
Yeah. Let's stick with dexterity. You're just going to hold on. And...
All right.
19. Okay,
19.
okay.
Good enough. Yeah, you stay put. You actually climb a little bit up onto Trevor, now dripping in water, but you're up in the cold, frigid air now, holding on to Trevor as he swims through the icy wake. He dips down a little bit into the undertow behind the ship. He seems fine, but now he's starting to go underwater a bit. You can roll animal handling to change his course, or dexterity to try and stay on.
Okay, well, and the way it works, I can like telepathically give him commands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mentally command the snake. Okay, yeah. So I didn't even have to say anything. But yes, I will try to get him to stop going deeper into the water.
Okay, yeah, and swim back into the wake out of the undertow as the ship keeps going. All right, go ahead and roll animal handling. Very
23.
Easy. Yep. Yeah, you steer him back out of the undertow onto the wake, and you bob up and down as you reach the other side of the harbor. You look up. It's about of an 8-foot climb up onto the harbor.
That's okay. I'll like shake myself up a little bit, shake my boots off, stick one foot to the wall firmly, and make sure it's like nice and firmly spider stuck there. stick my other foot there, and then put my hand on Trevor and say, "Trevor, return."
Staff returns, and you are there, but it's on a very slick, briny surface of the dock wall. I need you to roll a dexterity check to see if your boots stay.
Okay, let's try. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't fall flat.
Uh,
12.
they start to slip a little bit, and you clutch your staff and you try to reach up and grab onto the slimy wall. Roll me one more dexterity check, or strength, to see if
Dexterity.
okay, to see if you can get up onto the dock. Easy enough.
22.
Yeah, you clamber up. Now you're covered in like briny seawater and like lichen and moss and slimy scallops and stuff that are clinging to your clothes. You're a mess, but you get back up onto the docks on the other side with your staff.
There we go. I'll just
And
kind of
it's
like dog
cold.
shake. I'll dog shake myself off, and
All right.
I'll break out into a sprint towards the alchemy place, trying to warm myself up just with the movement in the hopes that I can catch it before the shop closes for the day.
All right. Yeah, it's at this point it's starting to get pretty dim in the tunnels. All the electric lights are on. You pass people leaving a trail of water behind you, and they just kind of glance. Some people stare, but you make your way back through Gold District. It only takes you about maybe 10 minutes to run your way up the boardwalk and over to, now that you've been through it before, up to the building number 14, which is the Arcane Focus, and then Alchemist Anonymous past that.
Hmm.
Which one would you like to go in?
Yeah. I'll go to alchemists first.
All right. Alchemist Anonymous. So you open up the doorway, and the little bell jings behind you, and it closes. You're not leaving footprints anymore, but you're still kind of slick and wet in places. But it's nice and warm inside. You look
Okay.
around, and there's all sorts of smells and sights and sounds in this place. It's like a little cabinet of curiosities inside of all sorts of different plants and potions and baubles, and it's very mysterious. A woman with the head of a snake, leans over the counter, flicking her tongue, her eyes wide and yellow with slits in them. She glances at you. Well, aren't you a delicious little morsel? How can I help you?
Hello. Wow, you have
Yes.
beautiful eyes.
Ah, thank you. You have beautiful everything.
Thank you. I was wondering if I could buy some. I need a couple alchemy type things.
If
You
you
don't
have the
mind?
gold, if you have the coin, you can buy just about anything here. What can I interest
Oh,
you in?
incense, some herbs, some oil. I think, yeah, that's it.
Incense, oil, and herbs. We have all of these. How much gold are you willing to spend?
Well, how much do you have? I've got I'm looking to buy a rather lot, actually.
All right, so let's see. So first, the incense. Are you looking for fine incense?
Um, I don't know if it matters for the purpose of the spell. I just need to get lots of really expensive incense, oil, and herbs.
Expensive, you say? I
Hmm.
like that. Let's see here. All right, so it looks like in here in your list, incense, you need 25 gold pieces of incense and at least 3 uses worth of it. It has to be fine incense, right?
Ooh, that I don't know. I have to check
Okay.
the
That's for
definition.
divination, I think.
Mhm.
All right, let's see how much incense she's got. She has 700 gold worth of incense. Fine incense.
Uh, Incense. Oh, it doesn't say anything about what kind of incense, but okay, so she has 700 gold of fine incense. Any other
Alright.
kinds of incense?
Yeah, there's like just normal burning incense, like lower grade stuff. She's got 1,200 gold worth of the not so great incense.
Okay.
Just the normal run of the mill stuff.
And how about herbs and oils and whatnot?
Alright. Herbs. Are there any particular, or are you just looking for a herb for spell component?
I'm looking for, yeah. There's also the reincarnate. Well, no, that's a druid thing. Yeah, just herbs and oils for spell components.
Alright, herbs and oils for spell components. She's got 700 gold worth of herbs. And 700 gold worth of oil.
Okay, she will buy. So Lindel will buy. Let's see, 700. How much do I need total? I need 2,100 worth of incense, herbs, and oils. I thought
However
I
you
worked
want
out
to
just
split it
perfect.
up. So she has the most of the normal incense, 1,200 gold worth. Everything else she's got 700 gold worth, so you could
Great.
split it between that. The fine
Yeah,
incense
maybe
will get you
one.
further, though.
Okay, yeah. I'll definitely get the 700. I'll get full 700 gold of fine incense.
Okay.
And then I'll get. And then I'll just get, just for easy math's sake, I'll just buy all the herbs and all the oil, because then that's 2,100.
All right. So she charges you. Let's see, for the 700 gold worth of fine incense, the 700 of herbs, the 700 of oil. She's going to charge you 2,500 gold.
Oh.
And then you can go ahead and roll if you'd like.
Ability up?
What's that?
Am I still concentrating on enhance ability?
Yeah, you haven't taken damage.
Okay, let's try it. Fuck it.
How long does the spell last?
Hour.
Yeah, you're fine.
22 or...
Get to reroll.
Yeah.
Hey, even
24.
better, 24. Very nice.
Holy.
All right, yeah. She actually says, so for such a beautiful young customer, yes, I'll sell it to you for 2,150.
2150. Deal.
All right, wonderful. Pleasure doing business with you. She slinks back behind the counter. So mark yourself off 2,150. And for your notes, write down that 700 gold worth of fine incense is double the normal. It gets you twice as far.
Ooh.
Unless a spell specifically calls for fine incense.
Uh, 700 of herbs, 700 of oil.
And just so you know, the oil, the 700 gold worth of oil, it does not look as fine in consistency and as clear as the stuff that you guys poured into Seb.
Oh yeah, it's not Seb oil.
Right.
That's fine. Yeah, this is just spell component oil.
Right.
And sorry, before I pull out all the gold, do you happen to have extra vials or flasks that I could use?
We have several vials, several flasks.
Can I buy 10 vials?
10 vials. 1 gold apiece.
Perfect. 10 vials.
And the flasks, you said?
Actually, yeah, just the vials is good if you've got them.
Very well. 10 vials. She actually gives you a little like test tube holder for all the vials. And there's
nice.
10 of them in a rack, and she gives that to you for 10 gold pieces.
Okay. I think, is there anything else on my shopping list? I think that's it.
I think you got most of it. Lanterns was the only other thing.
Lanterns. Yeah, I should have done that when we were at
money
the arcade.
pouches. You could get money pouches
Yes,
from the
I need-
exchange. Vials for holy water. I think that was it. Everything else I think you picked up.
Yeah, I still want lanterns and pouches from the money exchange.
Lanterns you could probably get from when you were crossing the Silver Bridge. The shop that Safkeen is going to be working at the next day. You could probably buy them from her at Packrat's General Store. It's number 11 on the Silver District map.
Number 11, Packrat General Store. How much
We'll
for a
just say that
lantern?
we'll say you go back the next day for lanterns while Safkeen is working there, and you can get you can find all 6 of those lanterns. He charges you 2, not quite that much. We'll say it's 5 silver a piece, so 30 silver.
30 silver. Okay. And is there enough daylight for me to make it to the money exchange?
Yeah. You get to the money exchange, and they've got money bags for sale there. How many bags are you wanting?
I don't know, half a dozen.
Half a dozen? We'll just say it's 1 silver.
1 silver piece. Okay.
For half a dozen little money pouches. And then you wanted to exchange some money?
Yes. I'm not sure. Can I just fiddle with it in D&D Beyond?
Yeah, you can go ahead and fiddle with it. There is going to be an exchange fee.
Oh, okay.
They don't just do it for free.
Exchange, or
we'll say depends on how much you want to exchange.
Yeah. Not that much. Let's see. Right now, she has. Let's see. So she would want to change. I don't know.
We'll say it's a 5% fee for money exchange.
5% fee. Okay, I'll do some math and then I'll let you know.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check just to see if you can lower the percentage.
Ooh, okay. Deal.
Easy enough. Yes, so we'll say it's only a 2% and round up. So like 2% of 100 gold would be 2 gold. Or sorry, is that right? Yeah, and then 2% of like, I don't know, 15 gold would be very small.
Yeah.
That'd be like
percent of 110 gold.
150 silver. So that'd be 30 silver, I think. 2% is 30 silver of 150 gold.
Sorry, you said how much for the money pouches again?
Money pouches were 1 silver for a dozen. And then, 2%. They take a 2% cut of exchange.
Deal.
All right.
I will do the math and I'll let you know. I'll give you the breakdown of how many whatevers to whatevers and then how much they charged me.
You know what? That's stupid. Just exchange it. Just cut it in your D&D Beyond. It's dumb to
Deal.
charge you money for your own gold to be changed. Just change it in D&D Beyond if you need more silver.
Deal. That's the
I
thing.
wrote that
I
in
just
there.
want more.
I wrote that in there originally because we were going to use this different monetary system, but it's just too hard. So, fuck it.
Okay.
We'll say you go in there and you exchange your stuff. And
or maybe they charge a flat rate. Like maybe they charge just like 1 gold piece anytime you're changing anything.
it would be less than that. 1 gold is a day's wage. It would only be like 1 silver at the most.
Just for the trouble of changing your.
Right. Unless you're
money.
changing out like 10,000 gold, then they'd charge you more. That's why I wanted to do a percentage. But
Oh no! I just want enough to give like everyone like enough for like a few meals kind of
It's
thing,
charity,
and just have little coin purses. Yeah,
just swap it out in your D&D Beyond. It's stupid to
Good deal.
charge you money for that.
no worries.
All right.
Okay, that's it
All right,
for my,
so-
for my. And then I would head back to the manor.
Okay. Yeah, you head back to the mansion. Try as you might, you can't get your fire to light. But I guess you can produce magical flame that'll heat you.
Oh wait, if I'm gonna pass the horticulture guild, then I would buy a log.
Okay. Yep. 500 gold pieces for
Yeah.
a log that lasts a season.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so you get 1 blue spruce Yule log
Log.
for
500 gold.
500 gold.
Okay, that's yeah. I think that's worth the money.
You want to roll again?
Yeah.
Natural
Sick.
20. Look at that. Yeah, you managed to save 50 gold. So you get it for 450 because you mentioned Granny.
Yeah, there we go.
Granny sent me.
Perfect. Okay,
All
there we
right.
go.
I gotta go eat something.
No, for sure. No, for sure. I will. That's what I was
No,
trying
that
to
was
like.
good. I'm glad we got through most of your list, except for some of the actual role play stuff. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but you learned the layout of gold and silver pretty well.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for your time. That was a lot. So
It's
thank
all right.
you for that.
No, I had to read an entire book to Genevieve, so
Oh jeez.
she read a book on astrology and the patrons, and so it was a lot of lore dump.
Oh no. All right.
But
Well.
yep.
At least
All
now you can like fast track and be like, well, Lindel knows where that is. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So if they're trying to figure out, well, where can I buy this? You'll be like, you can buy it there.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the person that works there.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. I know him. I'll send him a message. Like, no problem.
right. So the rest
Okay.
of this, if you want to run some of these errands on the following day and then go and buy your lanterns from Sofkeen, we can just role play it through text between now and next Sunday.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks, David. You're the best. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I like these little
Yeah.
one-shots because it gives you guys time to do your upkeep on your own characters separate from the shitstorm that is Short Expectations.
Right? And that and just like little things like purchasing spell components. Like.
Right. Yeah, it's something that needs to be done, but you don't want to drag the rest of the party along with you on a 2-hour shopping spree.
Exactly. Right.
Right. Okay, well, I recorded this, so I'll send you the recording once I get it uploaded, and you can refer to it for notes, and I'll probably refer to it too. I'll find you the names of the people that worked at, I think Arcane Focus was one of them. Did you? No, you didn't go into Arcane Focus.
I never went into Arcane Focus. No.
It was.
I talked to the woodcutter guy.
The woodcutter guy, right? And the
I
gnome
talked
woman.
to Snake Lady.
Snake Lady and gnome
Granny.
woman. Yes.
And gnome woman. Yeah.
Okay. And the guy at Fantastic Familiars.
I have.
I gave you his name. It's Jeffrey, right?
Yeah, Jeffrey Bobbins. What do I have written down?
Jeffrey
Gibbons. Sorry.
Gibbons, that's right, because he has a monkey for a pet.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Gibbons.
Very clever. Yeah.
All right. right, so we'll get together next time and just message me if you want to run through some of the other stuff.
Absolutely. Have yourself a merry holiday. Happy
Yeah, you
Yule.
too.
Oh, and we got your card. That was so thoughtful. Thank you
Oh,
so
good.
much.
I'm glad you got the card. So that's all you got? Just the card?
Yes. Is
Okay.
there something else?
Yes.
Oh.
It's taken a
Oh.
long time to get there, but I hope it gets there by Christmas.
Oh. No, we haven't received anything else. Just this lovely card from you and Zeta.
There should be a small box on the way as well. You'll know when you get it.
Okay.
You'll open it
I'm
up and be
sure
like, "Oh my god, okay."
lots of squealing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see.
I'm sure there will be.
Okay,
Okay.
well, Merry Christmas, Thomas. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.